All right. We are live. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are all doing well. Let me see if I can fix this so we can see Jonathan's lovely face. And we've got a couple people in the green room. We'll be bringing them on momentarily too. Oh, see now that messes up Corey's beautiful face. There, I think that's better.
Yeah.
That's better.
This is your money right here.
That's the money maker right there. Yeah. I know. Well, hello. Welcome to Movie Talk with Patrons. So far with me tonight, I've got Corey. What's up, Corey? How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. How's it going, guys?
It's going very good. Thank you for joining us.
Yep.
We've also got Jonathan, Mr. Bombastic. What's up, man?
What's going on, guys?
How are you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
Doing good. Thanks for being here. We got Mike all the way from the UK. What's up, Mike?
I'm good, because my mic's still echoing.
No, but I'm having a hard time here. I can't hear you now.
The volume's quite low.
Yeah, the volume's a little low. Let me see if I can do anything. I can't do anything on my end for your volume.
Volume up to maximum, and it's
You
just quite low.
you were sounding really good there for a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll come back to you. I've got Al Suspiria here. What's up, Al?
What's going on, man?
Not too much. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. We've got Lux Interiors Test Tube Baby, also known as Lorne. Lorne, how are you?
Just trying to live through the end times with a little bit of dignity intact.
I hear you. Well, thanks for being here. We've got the legendary Steak Sauce. Is Steak Sauce legendary? Can we give him that title?
I would say he is. Yeah.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Lorne, what do you think? Is Steak Sauce legendary?
We'll see how he behaves.
Okay. All right.
Oh, come on, guys. It's good to be here. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, did you ever forgive him about that review, or are you still holding a grudge, man?
Well, I'm a Bible-loving man, and one of the tenets of the Bible is to forgive. And no, I have not forgiven him. So that's how deeply I was scarred.
I can understand.
And by the way, another tenet of the Bible is that you shouldn't boil a calf in its mother's milk. So I'm not sure what that matters.
Well, I mean, you just don't do it. You just don't do it.
Have you ever had that delicacy? Are you insane? Also,
How
no
are you
shellfish.
supposed to eat milk steak?
No shellfish? Really? Come on.
Who wants shellfish? Who wants it? I mean, honestly, who wants it anyway?
I don't know, Piz, you're being a little shellfish.
I mean, well, it's true.
I'm
It's
going
true.
to leave.
All right, let's see who else.
Downhill from there.
No. Let's see who else is with us tonight here. Hold on. Joe Bob Tar Heels here. Joe Bob, what's up, man?
How you guys doing tonight?
Doing
What's up,
good.
buddy?
What's up with you, Joe Bob?
Pretty good. I just ordered the Massimo Overdrive Blu-ray just now. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Very nice. That's a good Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, that's what from you.
Yep, that's a very good Blu-ray. You will enjoy it, I promise. So thanks for tuning in. I'm using a new streaming platform tonight called StreamYard. It will only allow me to have 6 people on at a time, but I will shuffle you guys around, so don't worry.
Cool by me.
Cool.
I continue to eat my supper.
What are we having tonight, Joe Bob?
Taco Bell, baby.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
Fourth meal, baby.
How you doing, Steak Sauce?
How about you, Joe? Good. Joe Bob. Jesus.
All right, Joe
I
Bob.
really wish I knew how to talk to people. That would really be helpful.
All right, Joe Bob, we'll give you a second to finish up your dinner, and we'll get you right back in here momentarily. Let's see, Mike, are you there?
Are you there? Is the audio better now, Piz?
I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah. I changed the setting. I'm just getting used to this StreamYard. I'm not used to it. I've just changed the setting on the audio, so you're sounding a lot louder. So hopefully I am as well.
Well,
Mike, under audio, there is a setting called Disable Audio Processing. Go into it and uncheck that if it's checked, or check it if it's not, and see what that does.
You give that a shot.
Can you hear me now?
We can
yes.
hear you. It's just the echo is really loud.
Great. Okay.
So give that a
So what
shot.
did you say, Lorne? What did you say? Sorry, can Lorne repeat it again, please?
No, it was one time only. So no, in your audio settings, there's something called disable audio processing. It'll be a box that's either checked or unchecked. Whichever it's not at the moment, do the opposite.
Yeah, give that a shot, and we'll come back to you.
So Piz.
Yes, sir.
I always wanted to make a fan film, Maximum Overdrive fan film called Minimum Overdrive with Matchbox cars.
I'm on board. Are you looking for a star?
Yeah, but the whole thing is you have to be less than 1/3 of an inch because it's all scale.
I think I'm screwed then. I think I'm screwed. Let me give some shout outs here to everybody who's watching so far over on Twitch. We've got NV Davler and Big Crack Rock. Hello. How are you guys doing? On YouTube, we have got... Over on YouTube, we have got Only 257, Jess Graham, Steak Sauce. Steak Sauce doing double work tonight. Borderline 11, Dave Vanderhoff, Captain Halloween, John McCullough, Jess Graham. Big Crack Rock also doing double work on YouTube and Twitch. Thank you. So how you guys been? Have you guys seen any good movies lately?
A lot of classics, I would say. A lot of, 80s mostly, summertime horror movies, Friday the 13th. Been watching Nightmare Part 2 a lot. Sleepaway Camp, Splatter University, the 80s. Yeah, 80s type of summer movies, I guess you could say.
Very cool. Very cool. Anybody else seen anything good lately? Good, bad, indifferent?
Watched a couple the other night. Watched a couple Criterions I had. I watched Do the Right Thing, which was pretty topical, obviously. And also watched the Terrence Malick Badlands. So those were two good watches.
Yeah. I need to rewatch Badlands. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I've been watching some of my Vinegar Syndrome stuff that came in. So I watched Slaughterhouse and Don't Go in the Woods Alone on Saturday.
Nice.
I love Slaughterhouse. That's from 1986, right? Buddy Bacon.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was. It was a good movie. It was a good movie. But Buddy Bacon.
Yeah. I actually heard from somebody at Vinegar Syndrome that their website's going to be back up and running like tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw that.
They still have they've got some rad 4Ks left, and some of their other out of print stuff. They've got limited quantities.
Well, there you go, Lauren.
Get
your hands on a copy of Red.
I read a post today that they have less than 1,000 copies of Rad left.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. On the train ride up to Buffalo, I watched Uncut Gems finally. That was
it's great.
That was a hell of a movie. It's one of those things where by the end, like I'm guessing, like, oh, this is how it's gonna end. Oh shit, not that. Oh, all right, then it's gonna be this. It's definitely gonna be this then. Oh nope. So like 4 or 5 guesses. I'm like, okay, what the hell's gonna happen? And then the only time I touched my phone the entire movie, I missed the big shock ending. I'm like, what the fuck? What happened? So I had to watch it the last 15 minutes again because I went back too far and I want to do that again.
Well,
I wish I told better stories.
I've still not I've still not seen Uncut Gems, but I hear nothing but good things about it. So
it's fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I haven't seen it. No.
I really enjoyed it, but I actually like Good Time better, I think, when it comes to movies by those guys.
Good Time
was
really good.
Good Time was good. Yeah, that was a total surprise. Yeah. Oh, and thank you, NV Davler, for the donation. I appreciate that, man. Very kind of you. Lauren, what have you seen lately?
So you can make fun of me? Are you kidding?
Sure.
So I saw Door Locks, which is a Korean remake of Guillermo's Sleep Tight, the Spanish film. And I like it better than the original. It's a remake that I think improves It has just the Koreans are really good about adding a noir look to almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a visually beautiful film, which is an improvement. It's a film about a woman who realizes that someone else is living in her apartment concurrently with her,
mm-hmm.
and drugging her and maybe just sleeping beside her at night.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so she needs to figure out, and it's a whodunit horror film. Like you try to figure out because there's a lot of suspects, and all of them have the ability to kind of do it. So it's good fun. Unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately, it's not Uber available. So I had to pick up a expensive disc, which I'm not sure I loved it enough for what I did, but it was good. And the Jelangkung movies out of Indonesia, I watched both of them back to back, and I got to say the second film just blew away my concept of what a sequel could be, because it is so much better than the first film. It's not funny. The first film is kind of a Insidious type of riff. Not a rip-off, but it's clearly playing in the same playground.
Right.
But it sets up all these loose threads that it doesn't deliver on. And so the first film's kind of frustrating. I mean, it literally ends with a demon baby in this world. You know that trope where it's like the bad guy wants to be reborn into this world, and that's the whole movie?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, in Jelangkung, it succeeds. It wins. And it doesn't even win at the very end of the movie. It wins about halfway through. But that plot line is not resolved by the end of the film. But the second film just explodes the story out in about 1 million directions and pays off everything. And you have to watch them back to back if you're going to watch them, but they're awesome.
That's interesting. Very, very interesting.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Joe Bob, what have you seen lately, bud?
Not much. Just basically doing my thing, like gaming. The stuff we do all the time.
So what games are you playing?
A little bit of FIFA 20.
Okay.
I know Mike is from Liverpool. He's probably a Liverpool fan.
Let's see how Mike's doing. Hold on a second here. Let's see if I see Mike is back in the green.
Am I still echoing?
A little bit, but
it's a lot better though.
Is it?
I hear it.
Is it bearable?
Pretty bad.
It's a little bad. But let me try this. Mike. I'm going to ask you a question. Then I'm going to mute you, or I'm going to unmute you. So, have you seen any good movies lately, Mike?
I've seen Sea Fever, Irish horror film with Dougray Scott. Am I still echoing?
No. It's not. It's us echoing when we speak. It's coming through the speakers on your phone. That's what's creating the echo. Your audio when you speak is fine. It's our audio coming through. Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I've changed the settings on StreamYard, but am I supposed to change the settings on my phone or the settings on StreamYard? I don't know.
I would on StreamYard. I would think it would be the best place to do it. We'll come back. We'll come back to you, Mike. We'll come back to you. We've actually got somebody new who's entered.
Oh boy.
The dungeon.
Who's that?
Kevin.
Kevin lives in a dark place.
We'll come back. We'll come back to Kevin when he gets. Hopefully, he'll get his stuff together.
Hey, I'm back.
And there is Mr. Bombastic.
Hey, Piz, did you see Sea Fever yet?
It's on my list. I've heard very good things about it. I
really, really enjoyed it. If you like bleak movies, which I think you do, you'll like it. Yeah, it's good.
Oh, good. Is it? It's. We're not. What was that Kristen Stewart movie? Underwater?
No.
Nothing like that. Okay, good.
It's more like The Thing, but mean-spirited about it.
Because The Thing was so cheery.
By comparison, it kind of is. Because there's no. I don't want to spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch joke.
Nico, what's up, man?
Hey guys, how's it going?
How are you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. You seem a little bummed out about Joel Schumacher, but I'm getting over it.
Yeah, we'll be talking about Mr. Schumacher here momentarily. Yeah, I was pretty bummed out about
Rest
that
in
too.
peace.
Yeah, but you seen any good movies, Nico?
Let's see. I just watched a bunch of.
We'll just be in suspense.
Everybody freeze like the end of a sitcom. Final
Jungle Woman, Jungle Captive, and Captive Wild Woman.
Okay.
Because I figured if Lauren was going to be here tonight, I wanted to get his, see how we felt about it.
You watched the whole trilogy?
Well, I've seen him. I'm familiar with all the movies. I've seen them before, but I just wanted to get a fresh watch on them. And I thought they look great, and I don't understand why they're not more well known than they are, to be honest.
And they were in the 40s. They were very successful. So why they didn't have the kind of legacy of the other Universal monsters, I don't know.
Yeah, well, one of them didn't have Aquanetta, and then Aquanetta also just doesn't have. She just didn't get the props.
She gave an interview with Fangoria where she talks about why she walked away from Universal while still under contract, and basically it was she got chased around an office, and she just decided she wasn't going to play the game. So maybe if she'd stuck it out, she would have had more of a legacy. But the truth is, who should have to go through that crap?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Jeez.
But would you agree that she had something that's just otherworldly when she's on screen?
Well, I mean, she might not have been classically the best actor, but she had a thing about her. I mean, I'm captivated by her, and that these movies are 80 years old, so
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kevin's joined us. Kevin, what's up, man?
Not too bad. What about yourselves?
Just hanging in there. Is this Kevin Smythe?
Yes, it is.
Good to put a face to a name. What's going on, man?
Not too much. Just very early here, so just up.
Yeah. What time is it there? Probably about 2:00 in the morning?
Coming on 1:30.
Okay. I was close.
Yep.
Well, have you seen any good movies lately?
No, nothing much. I finally got Diabolic to send the 2 Argento films, so just waiting for them to come.
Oh, Card Player and what was it? Sleepless?
Sleepless and Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, Phantom of the Opera. That's right.
Well, at least Natsu Hano, Sleepless, has a great score.
I don't remember a thing about Sleepless, and I did not see Phantom of the Opera, so I can't.
Well, it's a Goblin score. Phantom of the Opera is not worth much, but Natsu Hano, Sleepless is definitely. I mean, if you're a big music fan, there's at least that.
Yeah, I haven't seen Phantom of the Opera before. It was the one I haven't seen, so.
Still better than Dracula.
Well,
yes, Dracula's terrible.
That's not saying a whole lot. That's not saying a whole lot, man. Oh, geez, Dracula. I will get around to watching that movie eventually. I just don't know.
It's not worth it.
I will actually be upset if you don't take any recommendations over Dracula. To waste your time. I mean, no, seriously, it is because we all felt the same way. I think that you go in going, it's Argento. It really can't be as bad as its reputation. It can't be. There has to be at least a few cool shots. And then you watch that thing and you're like, oh my God, Geico commercials are better and scarier. So,
well, I saw a clip of it, and it looked like it was entirely shot in front of a green screen, and bad green screen at that.
Did you see the praying mantis scene?
No.
It's like Argento did an Asylum movie.
Wow.
Worse, because you could.
Well, yeah.
Well, because it's Argento.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's kind of weird because I don't know if it's around the same time period or not, and I know that this film has kind of mixed opinions, but the film Wax Mask, which he produced, looks so much better than most of the films he was actually directing at the time.
Well, Wax Mask is 96, I believe.
Okay.
And there was real money behind it because that was supposed to be the project that bridged Fulci and Argento, and then Fulci died.
Yeah.
So Sergio Stivoletti ended up directing it. which it's directed by a special effects artist, and you could tell in that last act that's true. It's not great, but it does look like a real movie, which you can't say of everything.
Yeah, it looks a lot better than a lot of Argento's stuff shot around the same period.
Well, let me ask you this, Lauren. What did you do for Fulci's birthday, which was recently?
Nothing.
Oh, well. True fan.
Sorry.
True fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, Piz, when you catch up to having seen as many of his films as I have, then we'll talk.
Listen. Okay, how many Argento posters do you have on your wall, Lauren?
I have none.
Okay. Fake fan.
We were talking about Fulci, and suddenly an Argento poster count mattered.
Oh, wait a minute. Did I say Argento? Sorry. I was thinking of the better filmmaker.
Well, that's really that's really interesting, because Argento has worked exactly in two genres, and one of them is a freaking disaster. So
no, I meant to say, because I recently bought, because of the Gates of Hell Blu-ray that recently came out, I was like, that poster is so good, I've got to buy that poster. So I bought a Gates of Hell poster.
I have the Seven Doors of Death poster, but I don't have it up at the moment. I have it I have a file of posters, and I used to rotate through them, but now that there's things that are signed, it's hard to take them down. Yeah. There's only so much space on the wall.
Yeah.
So
I hear you. Let's see if Mike's got here. It's still a lot of echo.
I think Mike is like channeling an old Ministry song. That's what's going on.
I changed the setting from speakerphone to default. The only other option is headphones. It seems no matter what I do, it's echoing. So I don't really know.
You need to use headphones in your, because when we're talking, it's coming out your cell phone speaker and it's just echoing all over the kitchen there.
Back to me in about 2 minutes. I'll try.
Okay. Let's see. Let's get steak sauce back in here. We need some beauty.
Oh, hello guys. That's me.
We need to draw in some viewers here. Let's see. I saw some people in the chat talking about the new Jaws 4K. Did anybody else check out the new Jaws 4K? What'd you think of it?
I thought it looked fantastic. I really liked I wasn't expecting the lenticular slipcover and everything it came with.
Mm-hmm.
So, almost impossible to get my hands on, though. Best Buy canceled my pre-order, and I was able to find one copy at a Walmart locally. Wow. But it was already being scalped on eBay like the week it came out.
Damn.
That sucks. Some of the stuff in the third act on the water just looked absolutely it blew my mind. It looked so beautiful.
I didn't buy the 4K, but I did go see it at the drive-in this weekend.
Oh, cool.
Drive-in close to me is playing it too.
Yeah, a double feature with Jurassic Park.
No, it's a double feature with 47 meters down, uncaged.
Oh, fuck that!
Oh, that's not worth it. I would rather never see Jaws again than watch.
It's the first movie, so you could just leave after that, I suppose.
Yeah, but I mean, at least they should have done The Shallows, which I keep saying that Universal should have bought and thrown the Jaws title on, and I don't think anyone's feelings would have been hurt. But wow. I have a question for you guys about Jaws.
Sure.
Like, I love Jaws, I really do. But watching it on the big screen, it became more apparent than ever. What the hell happens to the barrels?
Jaws ate them. I thought everybody knows that, right?
Yeah. Literally, the moment the shark cage gets built, the barrels just disappear and they're never in the film again. I'm only talking about the barrels that are on the shark. Literally, because remember, the first shot after that we get is of a real shark swimming towards the camera.
Right.
And he has nothing attached to him.
What about during the Smile You Son of a... Was the barrels on him then? No? I don't know if I've ever. I don't know if I've ever even.
They just freaking disappear.
I mean, I've seen that movie a million times. I don't think I've ever even paid attention to the fact that the barrels are gone.
It's obvious that the shark took them off. He stopped, got them. We're talking about a shark whose family has a vendetta throughout the sequels.
That's true.
This is no normal shark.
Yeah, these barrels are a real hassle. I can't have these on.
He took them off.
He rubbed up against some coral or something.
And I think it showcases how forgiving we really are as fans. But then if we hate a movie, we pick it apart, right?
It's true. Yeah. It's true.
Like, there's so much that just went wrong with the production of that movie that nothing kind of surprises me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's also during the cage scene itself, Hooper drops the spear. But if you look at the next time the shark hits the cage, it's actually an alternative angle of the same hit because the spear falls again.
Well, I mean, it's pretty common knowledge that movie was. I mean, Verna Fields made Jaws, not Steven Spielberg. Verna Fields made Jaws in the editing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Well, all the problem they had with the shark animatronic is the reason why they cut the scene in the Jurassic Park book where they're floating down the stream when the T-Rex comes after him and actually gets in the water. And, like, Spielberg saw that and he must have had night terrors over thinking back to Jaws and just wanted no part. They went all the way. It was in the scripts. They did storyboards of it, and he looked at it. He's like, absolutely not. There's no way. There's not a chance.
Have any of you read the Jaws log?
No, I'd like to.
Yeah. So it covers some pretty interesting stuff about how when they were building the shark, they were told that it was going to be in a freshwater pool.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, then they put it out in the ocean, and there's nothing was suited for salt water, so all the mechanics just locked up immediately and couldn't be used. There was going to be a lot more motion in the shark. It was originally capable of a lot more, but because the production was told, they were told one thing and they did something else.
Yeah, didn't work out too well.
Yeah, I mean, there aren't many things in the world that are suitable to salt water, or even the mist off the off the waves, and talk to anyone that lives on the shore there, Jersey Shore, they'll tell you.
Hey River, what's up? How are you doing? Roland 666, hello. Johnny Dean, how's it going? Aiden Vavra, what's up? Southpaw 82, how are you guys doing? Southpaw 82 says, hey y'all, if Halloween Kills does not come out this October, when does it come out? I don't want to see it in January, February, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I would not want to see it anytime other than October either. Actually, that's one of the topics to discuss. So why don't we dive into that? I believe it was Blumhouse himself who said that he did not know. He was still hoping or still planning on releasing Halloween Kills this year, but he did not know how it was going to be released. So
I read some stuff.
Go ahead.
Excuse me. I read some stuff, Piz, numerous horror articles online that he still wants it to come out in October, and I guess CinemaCon is coming out, so they're going to do some kind of virtual, I don't know, but supposedly the trailer is supposed to be out soon. So he's really pushing for that October 16th date, unless something, but so I'm hopeful it comes out, there's been a lot of stuff about it, so.
And I think what I took from that is I think what a lot of people are taking from it, that it's coming out this October, either theatrically or straight to VOD. So
I don't think it can. There's contracts already.
You don't think it can?
I don't think it can. I think what they're going to do is Candyman is slated for September 25th. They're going to see how it does, and if it does well, we'll be getting Halloween on time. Otherwise, we are waiting another year or at least till summer.
Oh, that would suck.
So Candyman...
Universal's releasing both, so this is their own canary in the coal mine.
Well, has there been any... Is Universal still at odds or with the theaters, or the theaters still at odds with Universal? Is there still...
Nothing's been resolved.
I checked, yeah.
Okay.
Nothing's been resolved. But the question is, can AMC really go through with their threat? Can they turn down the surefire #1 movie in America?
While they're fighting bankruptcy? That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's a very good question.
But I will tell you that I'm hoping that they do stick to their guns, because the more I look into this issue, the uglier it's getting. One thing I didn't realize is how much money that the major distributors have put into film production and into completion bonds for these films. So they're taking money to make the movies on one end, and then they're going to be cut out of the profit at the end. That doesn't make any sense. None of us would do that with our jobs.
Hey, Mike, I don't hear an echo.
Last chance, is this it?
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm such a boomer. I'm such a boomer when it comes to cinema.
It's all right, man. It's all right. It's all good. How's it going, Mike? You doing all right, man?
Yeah, good, man. Yeah, good. Really good.
Good. Oh, goodness. We've lost Kevin. Kevin, if you're still out there, come back. But, Mike, have you seen any good movies lately?
Yeah, like I was saying before, Sea Fever, an Irish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dewey Scott. I really like that. Yeah, caught up on a couple of classics I've never seen. Tourist Trap.
Ooh.
I've never seen that film. It was, with Tanya Roberts in a pair of denim shorts for 90 minutes. I'm good with that. And Psycho Cop Returns. Oh my god, I really, really enjoy that. Like I said, I think I mentioned on one of your streams, very dark.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I couldn't see what was going on most of the time. It was pitch black, but yeah, I really, really enjoyed that.
Did you see the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, or did you see it another way?
No. It was just on a website. I won't say any more than that.
Okay. the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray is very nice, very nice, and it's not very dark. You can see everything that goes on that Blu-ray. Yeah. But I love me some Psycho Cop. But glad you're coming in loud and clear, Ben. Pretty clear.
Yeah.
But no echo. That's what it's all about. I want to let me ask you guys individually. Would you rather see Halloween Kills in the theater, or see it at home?
In the theater. I want to get that whole theater experience, and that's why I love watching horror movies in the theater. You get the crowd reaction.
But can you have the theater reaction when you have one person, 3 or 4 empty seats, then another person, 3 or 4 empty seats?
That's a good point. Yeah, we're gonna see what happens, man. I mean, it's just crazy world right now. But to answer your question, the theater, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Theater for me. Theater for me.
Okay. What about you, Steak Sauce?
It's got to be in the theater. And I'll go so far as to say, put a butt every 6 inches. I don't care about this COVID crap. I need my Halloween movie with a lot of screams and laughter.
Damn right.
Maybe some wheezing and coughing too. It's all love.
What about you, Corey?
I would say the theater as well. Actually, I saw the one in 2018, and we were pretty spaced out in that showing, so it wasn't a problem. Wouldn't have been a problem now. So
no.
But yeah, the theater for sure.
Okay. No COVID fears. No, nothing like that.
No, I mean, at this point, we don't know what to expect month to month. So, live your life, I think.
That's kind of
I mean, for my money with COVID, it's absolutely real. I'm not trying to say that, but I eat food off the floor, so I'm really not worried about it. And I work at a go-go bar. I'm kind of tempered in filth.
You've built up an immunity.
Yeah.
I hear you. What about you, Jonathan? At home or in the theater?
I'm going to be the odd man out, man. I want to watch it at home.
Okay, I hear you. Let me ask you guys watching also. You want to see it in the theater or you want to see it at home? Let's see. Only 25 wants the VOD. Brian Trash says theater. Southpaw says theater. Hey, Mr. Shatsy, what's up? Singing the Scorpion, what's up? Let's see, Nico.
I've seen the theater, and I don't care if there's anyone there or not. I always sit in the front row anyway, so I can't tell.
Okay.
But I want to see it in the theater. I want to see it like on a Saturday morning at like 10 o'clock and have the whole day to think about it.
Ah, nice. Now do you like the front row because of the leg room or because there's nobody in front of you?
I want the front row. I learned to. I finally got to a theater where the front row was far enough back that the screen wasn't on top of you. So it's my neighborhood theater. I love it, and I ended up in the front row because of people being rude and people not shutting up and not wanting to deal with them, and so and because no one else wants to sit in the front.
Yeah.
So it's just great. Yeah. I can be social, and yet I can be all by myself if I want to be. So it's perfect.
I would also like to say that if I would prefer to see it at the drive-in theater, actually.
Oh God.
But I know that usually by October, like the one close to me is shut down. But that's one way I would say, yeah, I'd rather see it that way.
Okay. I'll say this: I saw Jurassic World at a drive-in, and just the way the screen was set up, there's trees all around it, just by happenstance. They didn't do that. They didn't bring trees in, but it just kind of added to the kind of the atmosphere of the movie. So it's almost like it's kind of coming out of the screen, which was really cool. But
I'm gonna give Joe Bob Tar. Joe Bob Tar Heel's got the ultimate answer here. Are you watching it at home or VOD? Or I'm sorry, at the theater or on video on demand?
I'd rather watch Orc fucking alligator. Hold on.
Okay.
That is simply cruel towards alligators, and I don't want to hear that nonsense from you ever fucking again, sir. Have some respect for our reptilian friends. Some of them get hungry at Disney World. That does not mean we have to just write the whole species off.
Sometimes they get hungry at Disney World.
That's true too.
Have you seen the price of the food at Disney World? That kid was cheap.
I hated the last Halloween so much.
Shots fired.
Okay. So you're not planning on watching it at all then?
No. It's just not my thing. I didn't like it at all.
Okay.
I have not been to a theater. I've only been to 2 theaters in about 10 years. Just 10 years. Because I don't drive.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Lauren, theater or at home?
I'm going to sneak into a theater.
Okay. You're not going to pay for it?
Not paying.
I feel like I've already paid for it.
That's true.
I do. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The movie's called Halloween Kills. It's much like walking into a Target, right? If there's a mass shooting and you went to a place called Target, you're gonna feel real stupid. So if anything bad happens in a theater during a showing of Halloween Kills, you're gonna be like, I kind of deserve it.
Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that regardless of where it happened, but sure, you're right, especially given that situation particularly.
I see a lot of people saying that they want to get back to the theater. A lot of people, T-Bob79 says, let's get back to the theater. NV Dabbler says theater. Brian Trash.
Say that anymore.
Brian Trash wants to see it at the drive-in theater, which would be cool.
Yeah, I want to see Days of Thunder in a drive-in theater, and that's coming up as 30th anniversary this Saturday.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Well, I have a question for everybody.
Sure.
Yo.
Anybody pick anything up from the halfway to Black Friday sale from Vinegar Syndrome?
No.
Yeah, I bought the rest of the year's releases.
No, nice.
I'm just curious on that rad. I'm just curious on that price on that rad Blu-ray. If it's too much, I'm gonna pass.
It's gonna be like $36.
It's gonna be about $35. Yeah.
Ouch. Then I'll wait to the future.
Once it's sold out, it's gonna be like $200 on eBay because they're not gonna put it anymore.
That's true too.
Those people are crazy.
That's true too.
What's y'all's thoughts on Vinegar Syndrome? Because this is my first batch of them. I think they do a great job. I want to start that out. They do an excellent job with their releases and everything. But it seems, I mean, I don't know. Half of that catalog is just bad porn.
I love Vinegar Syndrome because they're the only company that's going to put out movies like Rad and movies like Tammy and the T-Rex in 4K.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think they do an excellent job.
And every movie that they release, even if it's bad porn, it's going to look, they're going to put 100% into restoring it. And I love what they do. I love it.
I'll say 2 things about Vinegar Syndrome. One, I'm forever in their debt for releasing Dolly Dearest on Blu-ray. And 2, I can't stand the name of the company. I hear Vinegar Syndrome. All I think about is Vinegar Strokes when they showed The League. It was on FX years ago.
Let me ask you: is Vinegar Syndrome a thing, or is that just?
It's a thing. It's a thing.
It's something that happens to film, correct? Like after
to color film on safety stock. Yes.
Okay.
It basically starts to turn red and emits a smell that smells like vinegar.
You can't say colored film anymore. It's BIPOC, pal.
Well,
All right?
listen. In the good old days, we didn't have this problem, but occasionally a print burst into flames and burnt down a house or two.
That's not good.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy.
But yeah, I got the rad 4K from the halfway to Black Friday. I've seen people do like post pictures and stuff online, and it's like they bought everything.
I know, it's like if they're such huge fans of Vinegar Syndrome, have they just never bought anything and they waited till this month to order something?
I guess. I mean, I literally saw pictures on like Instagram and Facebook. People like they got like a huge like oh, my Vinegar Syndrome, and it's like a box like you have a television in or something.
Yes.
And like then they show them out, and it's like just this enormous stack of Blu-rays.
And porn, just so much porn.
Lots and lots of porn. Lots and lots
of porn.
But the other thing I was going to hit on was the secondhand market for these stupid slip covers.
Oh, that's insane.
Ridiculous.
I throw them out. I throw the slip covers out.
No,
don't at all.
Don't do that.
No, out of self-respect, I'm doing it because the companies are at this point getting people to jump on things, paying full price or pre-order based on you'll get a slip cover,
a piece of cardboard to go around the movie.
Well, you know why slips existed and for books for a reason, because you were talking about paper and linen, so you needed something to protect it. When you talk about a plastic sleeve with art in it, you do not need anything on top of it, especially something that's made out of cardboard, which is easier to destroy.
But listen. The market for those slip covers, just as Vinegar Syndrome, are insane.
I don't care.
It's so crazy that during Black Friday, I'm almost positive I'm going to order the whole year, okay? And then I'm going to sell whichever movies I don't want. You could pay for the rest of the movies that I do want.
Mm-hmm. You could do that. For some reason, their Bloodhook release, if you've got their Bloodhook release with the slipcase, that thing can put your kid through college.
You want to say hi?
I mean, that is how much that goes for on like eBay and stuff.
Say hi.
You have two dads.
Yeah.
You have two SD
Sorry.
dads.
What about you, Corey or Nico? Did you guys pick up anything from the Vinegar Syndrome sale?
No, I haven't.
Okay. But you?
Yeah, I picked up Rad. I picked up Demon Wind. I waited forever to pick that up. And they got me with their packaging on that Amityville Cursed collection. So. But I wanted to jump on and talk about what you were talking about. The people that had the huge boxes of movies that came in.
Yeah, go for it.
I could never justify spending like $1,200 at one time on Blu-rays. There's just no way.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, man.
Dude, that's standing on my head, man.
I felt bad about like the $100 that I spent.
Right.
What about you, Al? Did you pick up anything?
No, nothing, Piz. Just old Blu-rays, my 64-inch TV, just nothing. I've seen some movies online for free on YouTube. Otherwise, I got my Blu-ray in my room, and a bunch of old horror movies. So, but nothing new. No, not from Vinegar Syndrome as well. Nothing.
I will say I was blown away by how good that Slaughterhouse looked. Like, there's no way that
I might get
that good.
I'm a big fan of Slaughterhouse, and rest in peace to Buddy Bacon, the actor. He passed away, but it was a really great movie. Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff, yes, a little bit, but it still had that nostalgic '80s feel. That the tone, the teens partying, and just a couple cheesy scenes, but overall, I really liked it. It was.
I got a question for you guys. Hold on a second. What's up, Roy Scheider fan? How are you? Sinister Antics, how you doing? He says he would like to watch Halloween Kills at the drive-in, but he'd prefer to just watch it at home on his home theater. So, but he says, I will admit the Alamo Drafthouse is the best movie chain. I'd love to see a movie at the Alamo Drafthouse. Toronto Freddy, what's up, man? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let me ask you guys this, and this is for everybody and for everybody watching. What's one single Blu-ray special edition, collector's edition, whatever. What's the most you're willing to spend on that release?
I did it not too long ago, and that is the Dawn of the Dead second sight.
Okay.
Pre-order. That was like $106 or something.
But
Yeah, that's about what I would spend. 100.
What about just this? What about just a release like Rad? Where do you draw the line on a Rad release, or like the newest Scream Factory Collector's Edition release? Where do you draw the line?
Oh, I won't pay over $25 for a release. Like,
gotta know the special features first.
Okay.
To me, it's like I look at who's doing the commentary track. If they're people that I know and like, it's like spending the evening with them, having them over for dinner. I'll spend some coin for it.
Okay. Example: the Arrow Mutilator release, loaded with extras, great picture quality and sound quality. What's the top price you're going to pay for this?
$25.
I pay $35 for it.
Okay.
Probably 40.
40. Okay. What about you, Corey?
Probably.
I think my ceiling, and I will say I pre-ordered that Dawn of the Dead too, but my typical ceiling is the $30 range. I think
$30.
I ended up spending $250 for the Hellraiser Scarlet box.
Oh, I remember when that came out. That was pricey.
Yeah.
Box sets are different though.
Yeah. What's your price range, Lauren? What's the most you'll go for a release like that?
For a single film release.
Single film. Loaded with extras.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Extras don't matter.
Brand new
Extras don't
4K
matter.
transfer.
Whatever. You watch them once and forget about them forever. No,
no.
I do.
I've spent whole evenings with extras and nobody watched the movies.
I've ordered discs, never watched the transfer that's on.
And they're killing physical media, so they're making the death of physical media happen even faster. So because the price tag is pushing people off, and they're using the extras to justify higher price tags. I think I'm right in line with $25 would be the most, but that's even kind of a special case scenario. I mean, generally speaking, $20 I think is fair. Mm-hmm. Once you go anywhere above that, you got to convince me.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what? Completely honestly,
sure.
If I can buy multiple films for the cost of one film, there's so much that I still am missing that I'd be an idiot to spend $80 on a movie.
Well, I mean, unless you're loaded, I mean, you can't get a very large film collection if you're pumping out $25-$30 for everything you're buying.
Well, the problem is when you're audited, the one know where the money came from, and some of us can't answer that.
But Lauren, how much did you spend for the Scream Factory Jungle Woman thing? Because I spent like $55 for it.
Sure, that's why I said my caveat was for a single film release. So I mean, if you multiply it out, I would go to $20 easily, $25 even for the original Captive Wild Woman. The other titles in that box are probably $10 titles to me, but we're already up to that $50 at that point. So we're there. I think I paid. To be honest with you, I think I paid $45 for it as a pre-order from an eBay seller.
Oh, okay.
I understand that some people got a mini poster if they ordered it direct from Scream. That's not a big deal to me, but whatever.
Well,
go ahead. Sorry. I was going to say, I think about physical media. I think it's a good time to sort of mention the fact that it's never been more important with this cancel culture that's going on. In the UK, streaming services have been, removing TV shows. They've removed Little Britain, which I don't know if you guys know. Faulty Towers, an episode which apparently was offensive to Germans, so they removed that from the TV.
They removed the Germans episode?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
John Cleese went on Twitter and tore strips off the BBC. They have to put it back on, but they've gone with the wind was removed from HBO. I know, Piers, I know you and Lauren have discussed the importance of physical media on the Sausage Party, but that was more concerned with just keeping it because of it wasn't to do with the censorship. If this is becoming the main reason now for physical media, because streaming services will remove anything they don't like, they will remove. So you need to physically own that.
Because I've been on this subject.
Yeah, we've been on this subject. I've talked about it. The death of physical media is going to be the death of movies. period, because when anything is in a cloud service or a streaming service, you don't own it. I don't care if you've paid money for it, you don't own it. And trust me, whatever your favorite movie is, eventually unless something changes, cancel culture is going to come for it. They're going to
especially
find,
like if you're really into like I'm into a lot of 30s and 40s stuff, and a lot of that stuff you just people you'll never you won't see it on you're not going to see Mr. Moto movie on television with Peter Lorre. That's why I own it.
The problem is people in 2020 are trying to enforce their ideals on something that existed 90, 80 years ago. You can't expect the movie making industry, anything at that time to.
It's all history too. It's all history.
Yeah, exactly. In the UK, they're tearing down statues. They're trying to change the names of streets. They're taking TV shows off. It's just absolutely insane at the minute.
Yeah.
Has permission to climb upon a soapbox for a moment?
No, go right ahead.
So first off, I want to say that if you watch the Joe Bob Briggs finale of season finale, he gave a speech that was almost verbatim to one I gave about 4 episodes into the last season of Sausage Factory about this entire subject. I was kind of proud of myself for echoing him before he said it. But so here's the thing. It's so short-sighted because what's being produced today that's trying to be ultra-sensitive is still not going to be enough if we continue down this road. Because at a certain point, the vegans will have a big enough platform, and any film showing meat being consumed will be a problem.
Yeah.
So in India right now, and I'm big into Indian horror cinema, right now, if a alcoholic drink or a cigarette is on screen, there has to be a warning on screen concurrent with that activity. Do you think that's not going to happen here? I think within the next 2 years it's happening here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So would we give the censors even a thumb hold and think, well, it's not so bad and it's not really censorship. It's a mistake. The problem I have with tearing down statues and movies are statues is very simple. I don't care if we put it to a vote that a statue of a person who didn't live a perfect life. If we put it to a vote and they decide to take that statue down, that's fine. I have no problem with it. But for a group of people to go out to the streets and do it because they want to force their will on the entire society, that is censorship. And that's also fascist censorship by definition. So even though I actually think all the statues should come down, because you know what? Instead of building statues, let's spend money to maybe, I don't know, help people. That would be good. How about people being able to have health care?
Yeah, but you can see
There's one statue I never want to come down.
This fun thing.
There's one statue I never want to come down, and that's the statue of Lou Costello in Patterson, New Jersey.
And it never will.
Stay.
That will never come down.
Gotta stay up there, man.
That'll never come down. But I do think that we should never construct another statue.
Yeah, why are we idolizing men, first of all? Not men, I'm just saying tangible people who had problems and faults. That's bordering on worshiping a king or some sort of monarchy or something.
Well, it's just so dangerous because what happens if there is a time when feminism becomes the mob in the street and they decide that Martin Luther King Jr., because he cheated on his wife, his statue needs to come down.
Yep.
Where are we going to draw some lines that people were not who they'd be if they lived in another time period? H.P. Lovecraft was a racist. Grow up, people. He was one of the best writers of horror fiction.
I thought you were going to say he was one of the best racists.
Well, maybe, I might go there.
He was one of the absolute best racists. No one hates him.
Listen, the average racist can't write stories like he did, so maybe that works.
That's true.
Just going back to the streaming service issue, they had a warning for Aladdin because of potential problems with people getting triggered. Aladdin from 2019.
Warnings don't bother me. I don't.
I'm telling you, if there's ever a time where
to show the movie, that's the important thing.
If there's ever a time where there is no physical media and everything is cloud based, if the climate is the same as it is now or worse, there's going to be a lot of movies just disappear. A lot of movies, a lot of television. It's just going to vanish without a trace.
I can't see Slumber Party Massacre passing the woke test.
Yeah, that'll be gone. That'll be gone.
I I was watching. I watched in honor of Joel Schumacher. I watched 8mm last night, my Blu-ray of it, and he actually has a 25-minute making of interview before it, and he says something really really interesting is that movie could not be greenlit today. It's only 20 years old. It would not be greenlit today.
No.
You couldn't get it made. Falling Down probably couldn't get made either. No studio would touch it.
Guys, RoboCop couldn't get made today.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Listen, there's so many movies, particularly from the 80s, that would just be gone. They would disappear like that.
So 50% of everything produced before 1950 no longer exists as a film. Okay? So the industry doesn't have a good track record to begin with about preserving movies. Do we really want to let political and social pressures dictate what's next to go? Because they will. I promise you that we will have the next great extinction of movies if we don't step on the heels of those who want to control it now. The problem with putting allowing them to put their thumb on the release of films by even putting a warning or a disclaimer is that they will not stop there. All they're doing is tagging the films that they're going to go for next week. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, it's true. But the problem with preserving film is I don't think we're ever going to win that battle because this is not preserving film per se. So you go back to 1950, like you said, half of those movies are gone. None of this will be playable in 70 years. It's optical media. It'll degrade. It'll be gone. So in the long game, we're at their mercy.
Do we know how long CDs last for? Because I've got CDs from the early 90s that still play.
Now, we're talking about 7 years, though.
I understand, but from the earliest CD production in the late 80s, do they still play? And do we actually know how long they will survive for? They're not going to last 70 years, but do we actually know how long?
Well, we know that, people were, VHS was a really fragile media type, you know what I mean? There's still a lot of VHSs around. So, you're thinking about a physical disc. I don't know. I would think a disc could last a long, long freaking time.
And the only reason I think about that is I adopted HD DVD when it came out, and disc rot has been such an issue with that. Half of my collection of HD DVDs is no longer playable.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, there's a film called The Sea God, which is a 1930s action film starring Fay Wray, which is why I own it. It does not have a legal release at this point. It's public domain, but there's no studio that has a copy of it in their vault. There is no more. It exists now because someone duplicated it onto 8mm for their home use, and all copies now strive from that copy. It exists in the digital realm because of the gray market. So my hope is not so much that the copies that are pressed today will be still existent in 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years. It's that someone will have copied them in the meantime on whatever new media comes, and we'll keep these things alive as a community.
Decent point.
Roy Shatter fanboy says, I will always support physical media. Big Crack Rock says, if anything happens to RoboCop, I will unleash my vengeance.
That remake happened and he didn't do anything.
Maybe he likes do you like the remake, Big Crack Rock? I've not seen it, so I can't judge it. I've not seen it.
You're not missing much, Piz, believe me.
Yeah, I don't think I am.
Well, to be completely fair, it's just a generic action film. It's not worse than anything else that came out of that year as a generic action film, but it's not RoboCop.
No, it's not.
Jess Graham asks, what are your thoughts on the film Song of the South?
It makes me really uncomfortable, but I still think it should exist as an artifact.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I never even heard of it.
I've seen it. It's not like it should be available, but I don't think it's like a classic or anything. It's just I just didn't get it, I guess.
What is it about?
It's about Reconstruction, the South during Reconstruction. There's a character named Uncle Remus, who's a singing storyteller who takes children and tells them songs about Briar Fox, which was it's a literary classic for children's literature, and it's a Disney movie. It feels like a Disney film. It looks like a Disney film, and
I actually saw it in the theater when I was a kid.
It's not as offensive as people make it out to be. It's just there stereotypes in the film. Sure, absolutely. And were there stereotypes of Irish Americans in films at the time? There sure were. It's kind of tough. It's just if you want to take today's value system and apply it to years gone by, you're going to have problems.
I don't think it's any worse than Dumbo and the Crows in Dumbo. So
I think the Crows are worse, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, one of them
it should be around too.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if that's readily available, and Song of the South has been. I mean, I think Laserdisc was the last time it got an official release.
So. I think it's available in Japan.
The Japanese have it mega available.
Big Crack Rock says he fell asleep during the remake and kept waking up to gunshots.
Sounds like my neighborhood. Yeah.
Sinister Antics says Disney is leading the charge in all this censorship crusade. They have far too much power, with them now owning 20th Century Fox.
I would agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me ask you guys this. Let's move on and talk about Joel Schumacher because he recently passed away.
Are you applauding that?
Underappreciated director.
I agree. Very underappreciated.
I agree.
Director.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mentioned it yesterday that I can't imagine what my life would have been like without the Lost Boys in it. And he was such a huge part of making the Lost Boys happen because before he came on board, that was literally supposed to be little kids as vampires, and he was like, little kid vampires. No. This is the '80s, baby. So he changed things. But thinking about his other great films, he directed a lot of really good movies. And when you go back and
Phone Booth, 8mm.
Phone Booth, 8mm.
Yeah.
Falling Down.
I was about to say, I've seen so many people talking about Falling Down the last 2 days, and that movie is extremely underappreciated.
It is. It's a good movie. I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
the thing I liked about Schumacher was that he succeeded and he failed, and he did both really spectacularly, but he never bored us, and he always was doing challenging stuff. And the fact that I might have hated a movie of his made me almost respect him even more, because I loved a lot of his movies too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go around in the circle here. Nico, what were some of your favorite Schumacher movies?
Well, my favorites are 8mm is definitely my favorite. Phone Booth, written with the Larry Cohen script, is great.
Yeah.
I really like the movie he made with Philip Seymour Hoffman and Robert De Niro called Flawless. I thought that was a really, really good movie. I actually saw that by myself in a theater on a Thanksgiving afternoon. So that's a good memory. So then Falling Down and The Lost Boys. So those are five right at the top of my head that I can name. And the Tigerland's another great one.
I love Tigerland.
There's always like another one, And so, I could forgive him for the second Batman movie.
Oh God.
The guy had to earn a paycheck, so whatever.
There was I was watching, I forget what it was. It was an interview with Colin Farrell where he was talking about Joe Schumacher because Colin Farrell had worked with him a couple of times. Yeah. And he was talking about just what a nice guy he was and how, he took movies for the money. When they offered him movies with a big paycheck, he took them, and he knew that they weren't good, but he needed to work and he needed the paycheck. But
yeah, I heard good things about him too.
Yeah, but then he did movies like Tigerland and A Time to Kill, that stuff that he really cared about. And I very underappreciated. I think he definitely had a unique style.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Bob, what are some of your
favorite?
favorite?
Big movies, then he do a small movie.
Yeah.
Just because he wanted to, So he wasn't like an indie pioneer or anything, but he would do the, like the De Niro thing that he did with Philip Seymour Hoffman. That was like a $4 million movie, shot over like 10 days,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to chime in about the whole cancel culture thing. I'm just like, I live in the South where most of these Confederate statues are. I have my hometown used to have a Confederate statue in front of my library. they removed that like a couple years ago and destroyed it. Put up with an ugly piece of shit. That was like, ugh. That's history in my book. If you erase history, you're not going to improve the future. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, if you forget the future, you're doomed to relive it, right?
What's that?
If you forget the future, or I'm sorry, if you forget the past, you're doomed to relive it, right?
I've already forgotten the future. I don't...
Yeah, forget the future. The future is probably not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Don't forget the past though, or
it's over.
You may relive it. Yeah.
This whole thing's going to blow over sooner than later. It's just ridiculous. The whole thing with movies and stuff. It's like, come on, stupid.
Yeah. Well, what about Joel Schumacher movies? What were some of your favorite movies of his?
Oh man, I haven't seen The Lost Boys yet, but I will be probably on Halloween because I know you talk about it like crazy.
Oh, I love it.
I've seen some of the TV spots on YouTube, and I was like, that looks pretty cool.
You should watch The Lost Boys. That's a classic. Let's see. Let's give Joe Bob some other recommendations for Schumacher movies.
Schumacher off topic. I would say License to Drive is kind of a guilty pleasure.
Well, I love that movie. He didn't direct it, but I love that movie.
I'm just gotta get out there.
Okay.
Would you consider 8mm a borderline horror film or a borderline giallo, or how would you even classify that?
That's a good question. It's definitely
which one's that?
8mm. It's a very
I've never seen that.
It's a very, very dark movie, but again, I mean, that shows. I mean, he could do The Lost Boys. He could do something really dark like 8mm, and then he could do something like the De Niro Philip Seymour Hoffman flick. Or he was very versatile, I think.
He gave whatever. The other thing about him I liked is because a lot of people are, he wasn't like, they're not auteurs because they take jobs for money and they make movies, but he seemed to like whatever film he was doing, he gave it exactly what that story needed. He brought whatever of himself to that project,
Mm-hmm.
whether he's dealing with his dark side or whatever side he's dealing with.
Yeah, right on. But definitely, Joe Bob, check out Lost Boys.
Yeah, I didn't know he passed away, so I saw a notification on one of your videos. I was like, you're kidding me.
80 years old.
80. I knew he was like in his 70s, but I was like,
he had a long life and he had a pretty good career. What about you, Steak Sauce? What were some of your favorite?
I've not seen a whole lot of Schumacher stuff. I mean, obviously Batman and Robin I've seen, and it's one of the worst Batman movies they've made.
Bat nipples.
Yeah, a little codpiece action. It's got a lot of stuff going on. I'll say this, and it's probably going to get me booted. I'm not a big fan of the Lost Boys.
Where's that eject button?
Maybe it's just I saw it too young. I don't know. It didn't catch me. It's definitely worth a rewatch. Now in my later years, maybe maybe I have a different opinion, but. I mean, for my money, like the movie of his that I've seen that I like the most and I revisit, semi-frequently is St. Elmo's Fire. A classic Brat Pack film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see young Demi Moore in there. It's good stuff. And, my forever crush, Ali Sheedy. So, a lot of solid script, decent acting. I mean, it get maybe a little cliche. I mean, the biggest knock against the movie is that pretty much every character in that film is a piece of garbage. Like, they're not relatable characters, are they? They're stuck up, post grad, assholes basically. But yeah, it's good. It's got a little bit of heart to it, I'd say.
Yeah.
A rocket soundtrack, baby.
It's true. Hey, what's up, Josh Fulci fan? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Corey, what about you? What are some of your favorite Joel Schumacher flicks?
Well, first off, I'll say I saw a lot of the obits for him online that they all tied him to the Batman movies, which I think is unfair. Obviously he's heavily criticized for those, but I mean, if you look at a movie like Falling Down, I think it's a really unique and amazing performance by Michael Douglas in that movie.
Mhm.
That's one of my favorites. I think also 8mm, like the pairing. For some reason, the pairing of Nicolas Cage and Joaquin Phoenix in that movie is really good.
Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix is great in that movie.
Yeah, and you talk about like a departure from like the Batman movies to such a dark movie in that film. And
Okay.
then, go ahead.
Let me cut you off 1 second. When 8mm was first coming out in my hometown, they put it was the first time I'd ever seen them do this for a movie. They put like a big sign on the door, like, warning, super graphic content, must be, 18 years of age to watch it, blah, blah, blah. Like, and like, I was thinking like, whoa, this must be like seriously hardcore. That's like the first
Right.
movie I could remember of my theater, like, warning people about how graphic it was. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just watched that recently, and I feel like it holds up really well still. And one that I haven't watched in years, and I think someone brought it up, was A Time to Kill. I don't think it's a super deep movie, but I remember enjoying it pretty well, and the performances were really good. So.
Well, you mentioned it. A lot of the obits were, Lost Boys and Batman director,
Yeah.
And I like Batman Forever. I'm sorry.
Yes, darling, what is it?
I do too.
I like Batman
This
Forever.
closet. It smells of death.
Thank you for that super chat. Hold on 1 second here. Thank you for that super chat, Southpaw 82. I appreciate it. What are y'all's thoughts on Keaton returning as Batman? I say bring it on. I say why not? But I've always liked Batman Forever. Val Kilmer's a very dry Bruce Wayne. He wasn't definitely not the best Batman. Not a huge fan of Jim Carrey as the Riddler, but I really like Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. And Nicole Kidman in that movie. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Oy vey.
Piz, I don't know if you remember. I know the build up to Batman in '89 was huge. I mean, that was everywhere. But I feel like it was pretty close to that with Batman Forever when that was coming out.
It was the Batman Forever hype was huge when it was coming out.
Yeah.
Huge. Batman was everywhere. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing the Bat sign.
The original Batman film in the UK was the very first 12 certificate. I'm not sure how the rating system works in the US, but we always had PG, then 15, and Batman kind of bridged the gap between the two. So we kind of moved away from PG and it became the 12 certificate. And ever since then, they've kind of done away with PG movies. I think 12 basically correlates with PG-13 in the US.
Yeah.
But Batman was the very first 12 certificate film.
Mm-hmm.
I don't quite know why it was, actually. I mean, it was quite dark, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I can remember renting Batman when it first came out, and my mother commenting that this was a little dark. This was darker than what I mean. I guess she imagined the bang, pop, pow, Batman. I don't know, but that's definitely not what it was. But Al, what about you? What were some of your favorite Joe Schumacher flicks?
Easily The Lost Boys. I would say that's my number one. I liked Falling Down. I think Michael Douglas and the acting in that movie was just awesome. And I just like the whole plot, and I thought it was had some funny moments to it. But yeah, Lost Boys, man. I mean, no question. Yeah.
Right on.
That's my number one.
Right on. What about you, Jonathan?
I mean, the classics, like Lost Boys and Falling Down.
Mm-hmm.
Those are probably like my favorites, but I was going to touch on this before you guys brought it up. He gets way too much crap for those Batman movies. I mean, I was 5 and 7 when those movies came out, and I was pretty much the audience it was aimed at with the toys and everything. Those movies still have a really soft spot in my heart. I love them.
Well,
no one's mentioned Flatliners. It's interesting.
Flatliners, yeah. What's funny is it seems like now I see a lot of people coming out and saying, well, I like Batman and Robin. And that was, you never heard anybody talk about Batman and Robin in any positive way for many, many years. So I think people are maybe coming around to just how, I mean, it's a silly, goofy, garish comic book movie. You know what I mean? It's like, if you want a comic book movie, that's a comic book movie.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is Mr. Freeze. It's
Yeah.
like one of my favorite things he ever did.
Chill out. You're not going to put me in the cola. I mean,
everybody chill. It was great.
Yeah.
It was campy. It was fun. I mean, everybody got on that bandwagon once like Batman Begins came out, and it was taking itself extremely seriously. But for years, it wasn't.
Yeah. All right, I'll turn the floor over to Lauren. I'm sure he's just going to poop all over Joel Schumacher's legacy. But go ahead, the floor is yours. Poop.
I'm sure.
Poop all you want.
I'm sure there's a Korean film that he saw that did it better.
So you should all be embarrassed of yourself. You talk about fucking Lost Boys. You talk about Batman and Robin. You don't mention DC Cab, which I understand. But, guys, he wrote Car Wash, the film that put Richard Pryor and George Carlin on screen at the same moment.
Yeah. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
That's all that matters. You can pretty much stop your career then and be done. But yeah, I don't like Lost Boys either. It's just, I don't know.
I mean, I don't. How can you not like? I don't get it.
Oh, I know. It's like there's different people who have different experiences in life and maybe feel differently about things. I know how difficult it is to get your head around that. I do. But
nothing surprises me anymore. I mean, after I found out that you hate aliens, so
well, Lost Boys is a better film than Aliens. I'll give it that.
Toronto Freddy says they're actually going to do a sequel to Falling Down. Has anybody heard this?
That can't happen.
I don't understand. I don't get
getting back up.
I never heard anything
maybe that's a
about it.
joke. Maybe that's or somebody else will be falling down.
It's got to be a joke. I don't see it.
That's like making that's like making a sequel to Miracle Mile. There's just not much story there.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Toronto Freddy was joking. He says, yeah, it's going to be called Getting Up.
Okay.
Falling Down would be my honest answer about his direction of what I think is the best film. When I saw that in my little rundown local theater, I just thought it was. And here's a hot take that people aren't going to like, but I thought it was Taxi Driver, but better.
Oh. Wow. Wow.
That's a strong comparison.
Bold statement.
Well, I think it works its metaphor a lot more creatively and fully. It doesn't require kind of the gymnastics of plot that Taxi Driver needs to do to get to its final act, whereas Falling Down has a really, really, really solid through line.
What
the
about
most shell shocked I ever was in my life was when I was in high school. I saw Taxi Driver in the theater, and after that, me and the guy I went with were just both completely shell shocked. We didn't know what we had even experienced. It was beautiful.
No, don't get me wrong. I love Taxi Driver. I just think Falling Down is probably going to be one of those films that's not recognized as a better film, but I think it is. So it's like Falling Down, Taxi Driver, Joker would be kind of that vein in film.
Falling Down's a lot more relatable because I think we've all had days like that.
Yeah,
most of us have.
It's amazing to me because Falling Down's really never talked about.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Well, was that movie even a hit back in the day? Because I don't.
Did okay. Did all right. Yeah.
Good.
It wasn't a massive hit, but it made money. Everything Michael Douglas did back then in that decade made money. He was the number one Hollywood actor in the '90s. So
cool.
everything he did made money.
Phone Booth was super interesting too when it came out.
Yeah, I was going to ask Lauren, what's your thoughts on Phone Booth?
Well, obviously, the Larry Cohen connection is just amazing because I love the fact that man was the best economic storyteller that we've ever had in film. But I like the film. I don't revisit it a whole lot because I think it's kind of a film that you got to let sit between viewings. But I like it. Looking over his discography, there's not a lot I really dislike. I mean, there's Sacred Cow titles that I think are way overrated. But I mean, to be honest with you, I think there's something that should be said about journeyman directors that's not said nearly often enough, which is that the culture doesn't really want auteurs. The culture doesn't embrace them very often. We want people who can go from genre to genre and make really solid entertainment, and that's exactly what he did. That should be really celebrated. as much as like your Wes Andersons, to be honest with you, who go out there and make films that are so narrow in their audience, but that audience will champion them every day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you brought a lot of smiles to a much larger group of people. There's a value to that. And we shouldn't be staring at it.
Yeah,
which so often we
absolutely. Earl C. Canton, baby.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Let's see. Aaron Lewis asked, "Is the American Werewolf remake still a thing?" I think it was right up until the point that John Landis' son got canceled. So that movie, I think, is in some kind of limbo. But anyway, I don't know. I've not heard anything about that movie in a long time. But Max Landis got a lot of things came out about him not being a very nice person. So,
not husband of the year.
Yeah, that movie may not happen. Gabe K. Oakla, what's up? How are you doing? Doing all right? Josh Fulci fan, yes, Found is very good. I love Found. Did a review of that a couple of years ago. Really good movie.
And its sequel is quite awesome too.
I've not seen the sequel.
Headless, which is the movie within the movie.
I'll have to watch that.
It's grimy and awful, and it feels like nightmares and damaged brain.
Oh, I wanted to mention while we were on here, last time we did this, somebody brought up The Greasy Strangler.
Oh my God.
I watched it immediately after the last live stream.
I warned you.
Just pissed. I was pissed the whole time that existed.
I warned you.
That was one of the stranger things I've ever watched.
It's the kind of movie you watch and you just there's not enough baths or showers in the world to get that feeling off of you.
There were so many penises in that movie.
So that movie is that girl that you were warned not to date, but you went through a dry spell and you were like, maybe. And it was exactly as bad as you were told.
As you heard. Yeah, it's really, really bad.
It's something, man. I don't know. It's something.
It passes that ironically bad thing too. Like it's just flat out bad.
Piz likes bad movies.
I do like bad movies, but that one was just, I don't know. There were things I liked about it. The performances and the dialogue was wacky, but just seeing that dude covered in grease, you can't, that burns itself into you can't unsee that. You can't unsee it.
Deaf too.
What's
They're
that?
not, if they can hear, you won't want to see a man greased up. But as soon as they lose the hearing, it's okay.
Jeez, oh Pete, what a movie! What a movie! Let's talk about Clive Barker is suing to get the rights to Hellraiser back. What do you guys?
Who owns the rights now?
Some company, I don't know. They used to be owned by the Weinsteins, but now the Weinsteins don't own anything apparently. So
they're in pre-production on a Hellraiser remake, aren't they?
That will see if Barker gets the rights back, they won't revert back to him until 2021. So that gives them time to finish up this remake or whatever.
Is another $400,000 wonder or what? Is it actually an actual movie?
No, from what I understand, this would actually be a movie. It wouldn't be to keep the rights.
This is a movie. From what I've heard, it's going to be pretty woke.
Oh my God.
Pretty woke.
Does
female Pinhead?
Female Pinhead?
Female Pinhead? Yeah.
Quite possibly a female Pinhead who really, really hates white guys.
Does anybody actually want to see Clive Barker's newer interpretation of Hellraiser, though?
What will happen? Clive Barker will get the rights back, and then he'll turn them over to who he thinks will be... who he thinks will shepherd this franchise best, or he may just turn around and sell them to Blumhouse. Who knows? I don't know.
Who wants to see Hellraiser in 2020, 2021? Where's the audience for Hellraiser? Like, I don't understand. I don't honestly think there's an audience for Hellraiser anymore. I think
I'll go. I saw the other 9.
There's name value there. I mean, it's the same. They remade Candyman. I mean, surely the general public had forgotten about Candyman. up to this point.
I don't. There's no. The thing about them trying to the problem that they came up with trying to remake Hellraiser for all these years, because they've been trying to remake it all these years, is that they can't make it accessible enough. Because Hellraiser is fundamentally not accessible. That's not a date movie. That's not a movie that you take your family to on Thanksgiving or Christmas. That's a movie about taboo, and that's part of its charm. That's why it's so good. It's not going to be a number one at the box office, $500 million box office kind of movie. It's just not.
No, and there's also this myth that Pinhead is more prominently featured in those films than what he is up until about the third one, I'd say too. He's not like a Freddy.
The movies aren't about him. The first two movies aren't about Pinhead. Well, the second one's a little bit, but they're really not about him. They're not about the Cenobites.
The third one's when it, kind of went off the rails and it became that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if Clive Barker wanted to make that movie, how many people would just be disappointed that they got, 20 minutes worth of Pinhead, 15 minutes worth of Pinhead on screen?
I mean, what the Cenobites are in the first one, maybe 10 minutes at the most?
Oh, barely.
They actually have less screen time in Hellbound.
Really?
It feels like they are all over that movie.
Feels like they have more, though.
Is he looking to reboot it, or is he looking to make a direct sequel to one?
So what I've heard about this title, first of all, it's Park Avenue Entertainment that own the rights, which is one of the holding companies that came out of the Weinstein collapse. So it's still kind of in the same hands. So the idea was they were going to do a film and a television series, and the television series was actually looking to be pretty ambitious, but the film was looking to be complete crap. But my understanding is that Clive wants to take it back and reboot it from the ground up, base it on Hellbound Heart. So it would not be the series we know of. It would be what he originally envisioned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and what's fun? I mean, the Hellbound Heart. I mean, the novella. I mean, Pinhead is a woman in the novella, or more. I mean, it's kind of a genderless kind of thing, but it has the voice of like a woman, and I don't know.
The insinuation is that it's a castronado.
Right.
Well, my question is he made the first film, so was there issues in making that? Like he had to satisfy someone at a studio, so he changed things around. That's what I don't understand. He got to make his film the first time.
I don't think so. I mean, I think he did a smart job in adapting that to the screen, because there's stuff in the novella that works in the novella that I don't think would work on the big screen. Because the Pinhead and the Cenobites really aren't even like, the lead Cenobite is the engineer, and it's a good story. It's a great story, I think, but a lot of it, I think he did an excellent job adapting it to the screen.
So I'll say this, having not read the novella, and kind of the joke you made about having Pinhead be a woman and hating men, I kind of really want to see that movie.
That's not a joke. That was the screenplay.
That's.
I mean, it's got to up the gore factor at least for me, so I could kind of come to terms with just me being as a male being eradicated. But I'm all for changing stuff up like that. It's not going to hurt my feelings if they make
It's got to be the worst series to try and reboot, though, because I mean, I think somebody said it earlier. How much general interest could there really be at this point?
Oh, near none, I would imagine. Especially like you say, we got to try to make it as accessible as possible. And it's not just by its nature, the material. It's not accessible.
It has some name recognition, but I think just among horror fans, it didn't. Hellraiser hasn't crossed over the way Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street did. So it'll have name recognition, but just with horror fans.
But what you're
horror fans don't want remakes. So like it's just going to piss everyone off that would potentially go to see something like that.
Possibly.
They're just all right. I'm going to pass on this.
But I think what you're missing out on this is that so that the horror is the base, but if they can put together a trailer that gets the masses interested, they have a Last House on the Left situation. Before that remake came out, everyone must have looked at Last House and said, as a mainstream movie, you're remaking that thing? Really? Who wants that? And they did, and it was very successful, and actually has a better reputation than you'd think. I Spit on Your Grave did the same thing. So these titles that we thought are taboo can be brought to the middle, but that first trailer makes a lot of difference.
I know. It's just that Hellraiser was always, to me, I felt like it was misrepresented in marketing, posters, everything, where Pinhead was front and center. And that movie really has nothing to do. I mean, it obviously has a big part of it, but he's not the main focus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were smart. They knew that they had a really strong character there, and he was gonna sell, you know. And I mean, if they could get, I don't know if they could get Scarlett Johansson to play the female Pinhead, that's going to bring in a lot. That's going to put a lot of butts in seats. Or who's a ingenue. I don't even know.
So, you want me to sell this?
Sell it, sure.
Samara Weaving.
Yes.
But seems like she's in. I don't know. She's in everything.
She's attached to one title that people are not going to believe when they hear, which is a reboot. Like
I'm saying, you just make this movie the way you want to make it. As far as the trailer goes, you just throw a Queen song over the top of it and just let it go. You know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. She has kind of a unique look. So I mean, you know, strip her bald and put some pins in her head. I mean, it might work. I don't know.
She'll do it. She's like insane for real. So she'll do it.
Lauren, you got the dome for it, man. I mean, you should probably go for it.
I have the voice. That's the problem.
Neither did Bradley.
They tweaked Bradley's voice too. So.
You got the dome for it. We can get you some implants. It's 2020. This isn't a far. You know, it's not a bridge too far by any stretch.
I would be canceled so quickly.
You would be canceled quickly. That's for sure. So I don't know, you guys. It seems like we're kind of on the fence here. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Do we want more Hellraiser movies?
I don't.
No, that's my opinion. I don't want any.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that I don't want one. Like, it's not like, oh, I really wish they'd put another one out. I don't care past the first three. I don't care about any of them. And even the third one is just kind of like, I'll throw it on and not pay attention to it. You know?
I'm just not a Hellraiser fan in general, and I just never got into it. Those films.
I really like the second film. That's it.
I'd say let me forget about it for a while, because every other year there's one that somebody made to keep the kids. And like those films are just so bad, and for some reason I watch them. Just let me forget about it for a while. I feel like, you know, don't make a movie for 10 years or so and then talk to me.
Yeah. What about what do you think, Corey?
I don't care. I think Lorna said it best. Like episode upon episode is just give me something new, something unique, and let me sink my teeth into that.
I think, unfortunately, this is their idea of something new. It's the same old, just with a new coat of paint on it. You know, instead of Pinhead being a guy, we'll make Pinhead a woman, and it'll be completely different. You know,
and it just destroys the franchise, like right there. Like when Candyman comes out, I think you were talking on one of your live streams, Piz, about it. About there's a chance that like there's not a sole Candyman entity in that movie. It could be multiple people. Candyman, yeah.
Candy people.
That would destroy that mythology in those movies.
Whoever gets stung by the bee becomes Candyman.
That's fucking terrible. I'm that is ridiculous. That is terrible.
Stream now. I don't want to hear anything else Piz has to say. Even as a joke.
That's not a joke. I'm sorry.
And didn't they bring back Tony Todd for that? Like, isn't he in the movie?
I actually. Initially, I think no, they didn't, and then they were like, "Oh crap!" I think they were like, "Well, we're already going to piss off horror fans. Let's at least bring him back and have him do like his voice." You know, I think like his voice is in it, and he's in like some back flashbacks to the first film, but I think that's it, really.
Man,
and I think Virginia Madsen did some voiceover, maybe too, or I don't know. But yeah, it does not sound good. And let me tell you, if they gauge the success of Candyman on how they're going to release Halloween, that thing may go VOD after all.
That's foolish straight off the bat. Because again, I don't remember who was saying it, but how many people are even thinking about Candyman? Like we need a reboot. Even with whatever marketing was actually getting put out, who cares? The 92 movie was near perfect. Like, it doesn't need to be remade.
I thought it could have been interesting when they announced that like Jordan Peele was involved, and that finally when they did say like Tony Todd was going to be involved, I thought, well, you might be able to do something with that. But I mean, after hearing all that, I don't know.
Yeah.
This bee sting thing's really got me pissed off. I can't get it out of my head now.
Sorry, man.
I did love that trailer though, where they slowed down "Say My Name" by Destiny's Child.
Yeah, that was good. That was awesome.
They did a very smart thing with that trailer. They made a good
Say
trailer.
my name, say my name.
It's like the "I Got 5 on it" from Us.
What about you? What about you, Nico? Are you a fan of the Hellraiser films?
Yeah, I mean, I look at them as anthologies, and some of them I like more than. I mean, I like the first 3 a lot, actually, and I like Deader because I like Carrie Werr.
Carrie Werr.
But and I'll whatever I'll see it, whatever it is, I'll see it. You know, because that's I've reached that point in my life where I've only just embraced horror in the last 10 years of my life, really, just as as my go-to genre. So right now I'm still at the point where I'm seeing everything, so yeah, I mean, that's on that basis. I'm not saying I'll look forward to it, but I'll definitely check it out.
Okay. What about you, Joe Bob? You a big Hellraiser fan?
Not really. I remember the first one, but I've seen the first one, but I don't remember a thing about it.
I got this. I got this in the mail today from
that's Hellraiser related.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody sent
nice,
it didn't have a return address on it, so I don't know.
Open it.
I might play with it later.
I don't open it.
I don't know. Maybe I'll play with it later. I don't know.
Well, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen? Exactly.
You were talking about Hellraiser. What's the one that has Pinhead? Looks like he's taking a crap.
He's taking a crap. Oh,
the cover.
He looks like he's taking a crap on the cover.
Yeah.
Well, I pretty much all of them have him on the cover going like he's trying. I think all of them really.
Except for bowel syndrome.
Yeah, taking souls.
Just going back to Candyman for a second. Do you think Candyman would have been as big a hit if it had come out in the late 90s, and they would have got, because the early 90s was just a waste ground for horror. It kind of stood out. If it had been released sort of like 97, 98, it might have got missed in the shuffle. But because 92, there was nothing horror-wise. You know what I mean?
It was a really unassuming release. It was just like when it came out, it was just like another movie that's opening on Friday. It was no big deal at all, and it sort of became a hit the old-fashioned way, word of mouth. Really,
I was going to say word of mouth. That was part of the big thing.
I don't remember
making it. It's kind of like with Ghostbusters. Look how that turned out.
Not well. It didn't turn out well.
Yeah, that was terrible.
I still haven't seen that. I probably know Will's that.
Well, I'm not going to say anything.
You don't want to.
I actually like the last Ghostbusters, so but I'll go.
I want to see Orc fuck a pillow that Ghostbusters.
Oh goodness!
I love Kate McKinnon, so there you go.
Okay, fair enough.
She's got the '80s looks like. Yeah, I like that.
Fair enough. So yeah, I don't know. It seems like we're kind of on the fence about any kind of new Hellraiser stuff here.
Yeah, I was going to mention DC Cabs. Joe Schumacher directed that before. Lauren took my thunder from that.
I'm more curious about Hellraiser than I am about another Texas Chainsaw movie, actually.
Yeah.
At least I'm curious about it. See what they'll do with it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What else can you do with it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's got Samara Weaving in it, I do like me some Samara Weaving. So we'll see.
Shit! Stuff by Candyman B.
Just how long do you think it'll be before there's a horror film based on COVID-19? There's got to be someone working on that.
They're making one right now.
You know that there's 20 different screenwriters working on a screenplay right now.
It already.
Shit.
Full Moon released it like a month ago already. It exists.
Oh yeah, Corona Zombies. Corona Zombies. Right?
That's not a bad name.
So
there's social distancing.
Hey.
Leave it to Full Moon to jump on.
Oh, that's that coming together with that shitty Puppet Masters. Ugh.
Uh-oh. Christian Hanna's going to come hunt you down, sir.
The Puppet Master movies. Let's see what's going on out in the chat. Teenage girls don't love Uncle Frank. That's probably true. Sinister Antics says, I refuse to watch past part 4 of Hellraiser. I've seen parts of Hellworld, but I couldn't finish it. I liked the one with Craig Sheffer. What was it?
I bet it had hell in the title.
It had. I'm pretty sure it had hell in the title. Whatever the one with Craig Sheffer is, part 5. I actually liked that one, and then they all bleed together for me until the very last one. And I actually liked the very last one quite a bit. Inferno. It did not have hell in it, Lauren. Inferno.
Well, it's a synonym for hell. So, hey, spoilers for every Hellraiser film past the third film, past the fourth film. The main character's really already in hell, and he has to face his sins. Done. Don't bother.
That's not Hellraiser 4. That's not Hellraiser 4.
I'm gonna pretend it is because I didn't like what I got out of Hellraiser 4.
I may be the only person in the world who claims to be a Hellraiser 4 fan. I like Hellraiser 4. I'm sorry, I like Hellraiser 4.
So honestly, you're saying that you prefer Pinhead in space more than Jason in space. I have an issue with that.
I would take Leprechaun in space. That.
Oh no! Let's forget Leprechaun in space. We're not going that deep. That
sucks. I love the first Leprechaun, by the way.
Oh, gosh, I've not seen that movie in forever. But I do like Hellraiser 4. I'm sorry, I like Hellraiser in space. Let's see what else is going on.
Leprechaun in space was 4.
Okay, I'm not up on the Leprechaun series. It's been a long time.
I've only watched the first one. That's cool by me.
Michael Keaton. A lot of people are talking about Michael Keaton returning as Batman. What's the news with this? I've heard people say it, but what's the deal with this?
I have no idea.
The deal is that they are separating out the universe from the streaming service. Is going to have one continuity, and the film universe will have another. And this is basically Michael Keaton is the adult version of the Twilight Kid, Patterson's.
Oh God,
DC's a mess.
I don't know.
I'm
kid.
gonna pass on that.
Have you seen Lighthouse though? He's freaking good.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, he's great in that.
I want to say that it's interesting. It looks interesting.
It is. It is. It's very good. Jonathan, I see you unrolling a poster. What kind of poster you got there?
I do, man. It's funny you brought up Hellraiser Inferno because this was.
Oh my God! Oh, that's okay. That's Inferno.
Yeah, that was given to me like 2 days ago, and I was gonna throw it out. Do you have any interest? Do you want it?
Sure. I'll take it. Send me a message. I'll take it.
Jonathan, did you steal someone's parking spot and they put that in your car as a warning?
No, I got a box of posters from a guy who runs like a video game shop. Somebody brought a bunch of them in, and
damn,
I thought sure, like I'm not gonna put it up. So
you're saying that someone gave you that for free?
For free? Yeah,
that makes sense.
Lucky.
Hey, I got a lot of cool stuff out of that, man. I got a Phantasm 2 poster out of it.
Oh, that's cool.
No, I don't know
Was it the Paragord Cemetery tagline at the top, or was it the video version?
Oh, it's right here. Hang on. It's the video version, I think.
Nice shirt, Al, from Russia.
Yep, that's.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shirt.
You would be in some serious money if you had the original theatrical with the Paragord Cemetery byline, because that thing goes for some money.
Oh, I just thought it looked cool in here. So
very cool.
That's my favorite of the Phantasm movie.
I actually love that. I love Phantasm.
That's the most palatable Phantasm movie to me.
It's a cool poster too.
Yeah, very cool poster. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mentioned Master Overdrive. Yodel Smith did an interview talking about that movie. I'll send you the link, Piz.
It's probably okay. Yeah, send me the link. But yeah, she's on. Is she on the Blu-ray?
I
don't think so.
I don't know. I haven't forgotten yet. No.
There's like some on-set interview stuff with her, I think.
Yeah,
it's
she
always.
did an interview. I think the interview was like less than a year ago.
Oh, cool.
She had fun with it from what I've heard.
That's cool. It's just I don't know. It's always whenever I see her or hear her in an interview, just that voice. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
It's Lisa.
I can't help but think of Lisa Simpson at the same time.
It's Lisa, man. It's Lisa.
Curtis. Curtis. Give me Curtis.
Oh God, yeah, she's so annoying in that. Curtis. Oh God. Oy. Curtis should have just pushed her in front of that truck and been like, "So long, honey." Lord have mercy. That's a fun movie, though. Lauren, what's your thoughts on Maximum Overdrive? How much do you hate it?
I like Maximum Overdrive. I've said this before.
What's the Korean equivalent to Maximum Overdrive?
I'm not even a specifically huge Korean film fan. I like what they're doing, but I mean, it's all about India, Indonesia, and Turkey.
But it seems like the last couple times we've done it, like when we talk about what we've seen, it's always like, well, there was a Korean film I was watching.
Well, because I'm so uninspired by what's coming out in America that I know I'm missing good stuff that comes out here. But I'm sorry, the batting average is just not great in America right now.
And Lauren, I have to correct you. There's only one Hell Dog in Hellraiser 4. Not multiple, just one.
Ouch.
Just one.
I haven't seen it in the theater, so.
Let's see what else is going on out in the chat. Sting of the Scorpion likes Hellraiser 4, so I've got some backup here.
I want to see the director's cut of
I do too.
Hellraiser Bloodline. That would be amazing.
I would too. I'd love to see
Scream Factory, get on that.
I saw this I think it was like the past couple of days that the Justice League is going to get a Snyder cut.
Yep.
Do y'all really care?
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
See how different it is.
Not a big Justice League fan. Not at all.
I didn't see the movie either way because it was not my thing.
I like Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman, but not Justice League. I'm not an Aquaman fan. I don't like Flash.
Affleck was a decent Bruce Wayne, and
he was. No, he was. He definitely was.
Val Kilmer is better than Val Kilmer as Bruce Wayne. He's too fucking young.
But not better than Christian Bale. Bale will always be the best in my book. Christian
I was
Bale.
surprised by that.
I like Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne for sure.
Where is she?
Where is he? Just don't. He'll smash your lights. So keep that in mind. He'll smash.
I'm not wearing hockey pads. Might be the best line from that movie.
Oh, jeez. Let's see. Is there anything else? Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Anything on your all's minds?
Yeah, Leprechaun in Space is the best Leprechaun movie in that franchise.
Doesn't he pop out of Joanna Man's dick in that movie?
Oh no, not Joanna Man's dick. But he does pop out of a man's dick.
Joanna Man is demon.
Miguel A. Nunez is in that movie, and it's part of the reason why it's so terrific.
I guess I just kind of pushed those two together.
Yeah. Fella takes a whiz and which more or less sets off the events of the movies. But yeah, he's banging this, like porn star body, like 90s porn star body gal. And all of a sudden, he comes out and makes some kind of like venereal disease joke. It's real terrific stuff. I watch it at the bar every Halloween because it ends up on AMC. Every night they'll play different marathons or whatever leading up to Halloween. And it's always on. I make sure it's on every TV just to piss everyone off.
Micah Bear out in the chat, he mentions the new Kevin Bacon movie. I did intend to ask you guys, have any of you seen the new Kevin Bacon movie?
Nope.
I could use some bacon. Do you have any?
None I can spare. None I can spare. What's it? You Should Have Left or something like that. Yep. Let me see if Nico or anybody's seen it. Nico, have you seen the new Kevin Bacon flick?
No, I just heard a review of it on Friday, and I was thinking about something to watch over the weekend, and it sounds like a really boring psychological family drama take on the Amityville thing. So I'm in too nice of a house. So,
what about you, Corey? Have you seen the new Kevin Bacon flick?
Haven't seen it. I just kind of heard about it this weekend, but it didn't really spark an interest in me.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. The trailer didn't grab me, but
I did see an interview with him about that movie where he acknowledged his presence in Friday the 13th. So that's a breakthrough.
Well, he's talked about it before in interviews. He's
why did I think that he was evasive about that?
I think for probably a lot of years. I mean, it was a movie he probably didn't just discuss. But it seems like lately
he's not Daniel Day-Lewis. I don't know why he's so reluctant to talk about it.
I mean, I love this movie, but he did Tremors. So, what's?
I think
he's Store of Echoes. He's not anti-genre.
Yeah. He's talked. I've heard him talk about it a few times at least. He did say, I read somewhere that he was talking about how like autograph hunters always run up to him, and the number one thing that they want him to sign is his picture from Friday the 13th with the arrow through his neck, and how he's like, I'm always signing a picture of myself dead. You know what I mean? He was like of all the movies I've done, or even like, from that movie, why is it the death picture that I'm always signing? You know what I mean?
What's the most iconic scene, death in that movie? So.
That's the iconic death in the whole of Friday the 13th.
Well, and that was the one of the ones that was cut from. We didn't see the full. That full scene for a long time. Thank you, Toronto Freddy, for the $2 super chat, my friend. You guys hear of Michael Bay directing Deadpool 3? That's got to be another joke. Come on, Toronto.
Hey, speaking of Stir of Echoes, I always really enjoyed that movie. Did you guys like that one?
Yeah, I like Stir of Echoes.
Yeah.
I like Stir of Echoes a million times more than I did Sixth Sense. And Sixth Sense buried that movie.
Yeah,
definitely.
Did you see the hilarious sequel, direct-to-video sequel?
No.
Oh, it's honestly, you should. It is so fun because it's so inept.
Is it Rob Lowe? Is that who's in that one?
That sounds right. I only saw it once on video, but literally, they must not have done a table read because it's like they're looking for lines around the set. It's amazing.
Wow. Hold on a second. Al from Russia's driving. What's up, Al?
What's up, man?
Where we going,
guys? I'm listening.
We going through a drive-through somewhere?
I'm gonna grab a sandwich at we have this place. It's called Wawa here in Philadelphia. They make like fresh deli sandwiches.
Ooh, that sounds good.
There's no drive-in at a Wawa.
That Lauren, that'd be a good idea, man. I mean, that would definitely make some money for Wawa, considering
What kind of sandwich are we going after?
I'm gonna get turkey with cheese. I'm gonna get the 12-inch because I'm a hungry bastard, and I got some beers on me. So
So you're not
it's summertime. We're horror fans. I love it, baby.
You're not gonna stop at the coffee bar to mix the Colombian, and Peruvian.
Nope, absolutely not, Lauren.
I feel like Orc's on this broadcast now.
All right, well, we'll put you back in the green room, Al, so you can concentrate on driving to get that sandwich. But give us a full review of the sandwich shortly. All right.
Sure.
All right. Let's see who we gonna add here. Let's ask Joe. Joe Bob, are you a fan of Subway sandwiches?
Hell yes.
What's your favorite Subway
Chicken
sandwich?
teriyaki, baby.
Oh, that's a good one. Too bad there's not a Subway nearby me, or I might go grab some Subway.
Subway puts one goddamn piece of meat, folds it over. They do it three times.
That's the best.
That's bullshit.
That's the best I've got around me. I'm sorry. I don't have a Jimmy John's. I don't have a Wawa's.
Mike Subs, man. That's the Jersey.
Don't have a Mike's. Don't have a Mike's.
You need to
Jersey Mike's is actually 30 minutes from me. It's in Greensboro. So
do it, man.
I've heard it's good, actually. Real good.
So Toronto Freddy says he's serious that Michael Bay is really directing Deadpool 3.
That's just a bad idea.
That's a horrible deal. Any truth to the rumor we are getting the Paramount 8 steelbooks? No, not from Paramount. No. We're lucky we got part 1 steelbook from Paramount. They're not going to do the others. But they might. I don't know, but I don't know.
Is that the Friday the 13th thing?
I kind of doubt it. Yeah.
Ugh.
What is out? You've been wondering what? Oh, Al was apparently drinking some beer. So
while driving.
No,
But
not while driving.
it's Philly, so it doesn't really matter.
I don't even have a Firehouse subs near me. No. If I want a sub, I'm either making it myself or I'm going to Subway.
I think I got 2 Subways in my hometown, and they're about 10, 15 minutes away.
I've got 3 Subways within driving distance of me. That's 2 more than any normal person needs. I mean, why are there so many freaking Subways in my neighborhood? I don't get it.
You want to talk about too many stuff, Ames? Places? Dollar General and Family Dollar.
There are
side by side. It's nuts.
I can't throw. If I threw a rock in a random direction from my house, it would hit a Dollar General store. There's no doubt about it.
I got one a couple minutes from my house. For God's sakes.
They are everywhere.
Subway really made an impression inroads into England as well. 10 years ago, we had about 5 Subways in the whole country. Now there's about 1,000. Subways are everywhere in the UK.
Listen, let's bring steak sauce in here. Steak sauce, Subway, Subway sandwiches, yay or nay?
Subway's fine, but it's probably like my 5th or 6th, choice from the top.
Okay.
Jersey Mike's is solid shit. There's actually Dave Vanderhoff from the chat might know this place. There's a place in Fairfield, New Jersey called Il Panino's. They make the deli, but they make incredible sandwiches. And that's really, if you live in New Jersey, for the most part, that's where you go. You go to a deli more so than any kind of chain place, unless that's all that's around.
Why does Jersey have all this? You've got the best pizza. You've got like 5 million different.
No, they don't.
Yes,
what? What? Who's got the best pizza then?
Buffalo. Honestly, Buffalo pizza it's far and away the best pizza I've ever had in my life.
What the hell?
I'll say this. New Jersey pizza is better than anything you get in Manhattan or further out east. But yeah.
Hold on. Let's bring Nico. You're in California, right?
Yeah.
Near
pizza sucks in California.
Oh,
believe me.
Also, I've had better pizza in Utah than I've had than a lot of my New Jersey experiences.
So the best pizzas I've had in California were bought in a grocery store in a goddamn the frozen food section.
Baby.
Hey, Piz, want me to really blow your mind?
Sure.
My local pizza shop just started offering sheet school pizza.
Very nice.
The real thing, dude.
Very nice.
You can buy a sheet of it, 36 slices, for $25.
Nice.
Yes, but what do you guys need? That's the problem.
Also, I do want to chime in. Wawa is God's gift to mankind.
Although I will say that Sheetz is picking up their feet, and if they get a more solid base in Jersey, that's going to hurt Wawa.
I think Sheetz has the much better hot item menu, as far as the burgers and stuff like that. Sheetz is far and beyond better. But when it comes to cold cuts, deli meats, whatever the hell you want to call it, Wawa is still the number one show for gas station sandwiches.
How about Quick Check?
Quick Check solid.
Yeah. Let's bring Mike into this. From what kind of great food places you got over there in Liverpool, Mike? What about the Liverpool pizza? Good, bad?
Well, we have independent pizza shops, obviously, which should vary in quality. But when it comes to actually chains, it's just all American. It's Domino's, Papa John's, Pizza Hut. Used to be a thing, but that's really diminished. They used to be like the number one, and they
used to be good.
They vanished. They just vanished. Domino's and Papa John's, Domino's especially. Subway's massive, and obviously, McDonald's and Burger King, they're the big ones. But we haven't got these, the way it is in the States. Each state has got their own sort of fast food chains. We're very limited. We've got basically 5 or 6, which are all American. We haven't even got our own. Mm-hmm. They're all American.
Sinister Antics says the Jersey heavy accent comes out of Lauren. I said, yeah, I was going to mention that too. It got very Jersey-ish up in here.
Listen, don't mess with the food. Don't even talk pizza bullshit, okay? And Piz, you can speak to that. Bagels. Not even buying anywhere else.
It's not worth eating a bagel unless you're in New Jersey. I agree with that 1,000%.
Yeah, those Jersey bagels you brought me were so good, so good. And I just ate them dry. Nothing on them, around them. Just they were so good, so good. Now, if the New Jersey Horror Con still happens, which it's still scheduled,
was that August?
September, I believe.
September. Okay, that's even better.
We gotta hit up some good places. We've got to get away from the pier, right? Or the board.
Pizza, yeah, you don't want board.
Yeah,
no. But did you guys see that Creation is doing the Weekend of Horrors in Jersey next year in 2021?
Mm-hmm.
So Creation, who used to run the Fangoria Weekend of Horrors, they're back. They're coming, and they're putting it in the Edison Convention Center, so no cramped hotel. It's a huge spot. Yeah, it's a huge spot. It's going to be, I think, really big, and the guest list is awesome and Friday centric.
So where exactly is the Horror Con in Jersey?
It's at the
AC
Atlantic City. Yeah.
Okay, what hotel?
Showboat.
Showboat.
The old Showboat, the one on the water.
Gotcha. So what I'm thinking is, as far as whatever, we'll bring food or whatever, bagels and all that stuff. But you go to the Tropicana, there's a little Italian place called Carmine's that has the best Italian food that I've ever eaten. Honestly, it's one of the best meals that I've ever had in my life. I'm not even I'm not even big on Italian food, but just it blew my mind. I didn't know what to say. It's a little pricey, but they said served family style. So you pay like, I don't know, $25 or $35 for like a thing of chicken parm, but it's like a platter of chicken parm. It's
okay. Cool. I've written it down. Carmine's. I like that name too. There's nothing. I mean, there's nothing more Italian. Carmine. Carmine. I love that name. Let's see. Question for Lorne from Baby Herman. With the release of the Friday the 13th Steelbook, fans have been buying this without any new content. Why would a studio put any effort into a release going forward?
I don't know. I didn't buy it. I mean, if you're not giving me a different disc, you're giving me a box, I'm not paying for a box.
But
yeah.
Okay, wait. Hold on.
Look how shiny it is, though.
I get it. Hey, Pez, let me read the guest list for the Creation Weekend here.
Okay.
Clive Barker, Norman Reedus, David Harbour, Tom Savini, Chandler Riggs, Cassidy McClinton, Cooper Andrews. I'm going to skip by some of these Walking Dead people because I don't give a shit. Yes. Sean Cunningham, Vic Garris, Don Mancini, Greg Nicotero, Gary Sherman, John McNaughton, Armin Mastrodani, Joseph Zito. Mark Rosman, who directed House on Sorority Row, William Lustig, Anthony Timpone, Robert Hitzman, who directed Sleepaway Camp, Ron Milkey, Adrian King, Janine Taylor, Robbie Morgan, Harry Manfredini.
Wow, that's a pretty stacked. Wow, geez, and wow, geez, that must be a huge place to house all these people.
It's a convention center.
I also want to point out. I also want to point out the ridiculous noise that every one of us made when Joseph Zito was brought up.
Yeah,
every one of us made some dumb noise with our mouths. So that's saying something, I think.
He's gonna have the biggest line.
I've never even seen Joe Zito listed as like a guest at a horror convention anywhere.
And the great thing is, because it's in Edison,
Wawa in space,
there is going to be plenty of lodging because there's a ton of hotels. So
that's 2021.
Yep.
Sick.
I've never had Dewey's Pizza. Now there's a little bit more variety of pizza when you get a little north of me, when you get into like Lexington and stuff. But I've never heard of Dewey's Pizza. Now, Lexington, Kentucky, if you want a steak,
you have to kill it.
Well, that's the best way to do it. But no, if you want the best steak I've ever eaten in my life, Malone's Steakhouse in Lexington, Kentucky. Best steak I've ever eaten.
You mentioned that before, I think.
Phenomenal steak. Oh my God.
You know what? When everybody was talking about pizza, nobody brought up Chicago, and that saddens me.
The Chicago style, yeah.
Chicago, deep dish is silly to me, but the Chicago like thin crust is good stuff too.
I actually grew up in a pizzeria. Like my dad owned 3 at one time, and he had a bunch of stuff brought in from Chicago. He kind of had to adapt it because people around here just won't do deep dish. But oh my god, that is so good.
That's not real pizza.
It's a casserole. Now, Lauren, I want to ask you about pizza. Are you whatever, aside of it, topping wise, are you one of those awful people that thinks it's just cheese or it's sacrilege?
No. In fact, you know what I just had for the first time as a topic? Hash browns. It was amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
There's nothing more American than putting a different food on top of a food already.
Yeah. Well, I've not seen it really anywhere in Jersey since I've lived here, but in Western New York, Buffalo, Rochester kind of area, breakfast pizzas are huge.
Yeah, they're good.
So I could see like hash browns on top of something like that would just be like next level.
Hey,
It was regular.
That's something that's something that doesn't happen. So
I got a question for the Jersey guys. What is breakfast like up there? I mean, like down here, it's all biscuits and gravy and just fat. Oh, I mean, it don't get no better than biscuits and gravy. Do y'all? Is that something y'all do up there?
To be completely honest, I think most Jerseyans don't eat breakfast anymore.
No.
Listen,
but
Southern
bagels. Honestly, like that's a bagels, a buttered roll. On the way to work, sitting in traffic, you smush that in your face.
Man, if there ain't biscuits, it ain't even.
No.
I'll say this: I get down on some biscuits and gravy though.
Biscuits and gravy, Southern style biscuits and gravy. Oh, it does not get better. It does not. I'll eat breakfast anytime. I'll eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I'll eat breakfast. So good. Sinister Antics wants you to show off your dank book collection in a video, Lauren.
The problem with that is that I don't have enough bookshelves to properly display everything I own, so they're in boxes.
Okay, let me alter that request a little bit then. So whatever you do have on bookshelves, can you do like some wacky, like Danzig in the dark with like light reflecting off a pool and just show off a couple of your most prized books?
You could kind of get a little bit of that in my my tour of this room.
Yeah.
I showed like 4 books or something. I got to work on that. But since I'm taking a little hiatus for a week or so from live videos on my channel, maybe I can put something together.
Hey, kind of in that vein, how much of your horror stuff, this is generally everybody in the chat, how much of it spills out of like your designated area, like your office or whatever, into your like living room and like where other people habitate?
Mine is already spilled. I've got my buddy Garrett sent me an awesome Friday the 13th, like the UK, like enormous poster that I don't have any room in here for. So I put it in my bedroom. So it's spilled over to my bedroom. And now I'm like, well, now I've got to like fill my bedroom with horror stuff. So now I've got to
most of my bedroom, I got like big Return to Horror High poster, Dr. Loomis picture. Some people I met at Monster Mania Horror Convention in New Jersey, because I'm in Philadelphia, so I'm only 20 minutes away. I got a picture of Gunnar Hansen. Bunch of stuff in my room, mostly.
Question for the Philly guy: are the Philly cheesesteaks really that good in Philly?
They are fizz. That's why you and Lauren guys got to make it up here sometime. Lauren's closer, and steak sauce too. I don't know. Steak sauce. Are you in Jersey, man?
Yeah, I'm North Jersey. I've been to Philly.
You and Lauren,
pretty much every time I've been to Philly is just to go to Pat's and then leave, because like Lauren, I'm not a huge fan of the place. I went to a Chikara show, which is like an indie wrestling promotion, but no, they had this giant slice of pizza there. I don't remember what the name of the place was called, but it was like as big as my head.
No, but they're good. They're good.
Quite a feat.
I like Gino's.
Now,
I'm a Gino's guy. I like Gino's. Yeah. It's the hot sauce, man. It's the hot sauce,
The hot sauce, okay.
So.
Okay, cool. Corey, what?
I know.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, no, go ahead, dude.
Nah, it's not important.
Okay.
Corey,
I know. Gunpoint twice in Philly. True story. That is a true story. Okay.
Remind us what part of the world or what part of the country you're in, Corey?
So I'm in Southern Illinois. Probably the closest point of reference is I'm a couple hours east of St. Louis. So that helps.
He's not too far from old Owensboro, though.
No,
Went down here a couple weeks ago.
Okay, cool. Any good places to eat over there in Indiana?
Well, for me, it's limited. I might lose my cred here, but I've been a vegetarian for almost 2 years, so I can find things to eat where I go. So,
vegetarian. Okay.
Yeah.
They call that gravy.
Yeah.
You see the big
yard, the
vegetarian?
backyard, or whatever.
He only told us when it was germane to the conversation. Now, if he drops the eggs and cheese and stuff, then he would have told us probably 6 or 7 times. While we were talking about Hellraiser.
I don't push. I'm not one that push my beliefs on people. So.
Good.
Do you want my favorite vegetarian joke?
Sure.
What did Paul McCartney say to his limo driver on the way back from Linda's funeral? First McDonald's.
My mother is a vegan, so yeah. So she's not she's not one of those that look down your nose at you and chastise you for eating a burger. So
I feel like that's a younger thing too. It's it's tied into that cancel culture, the outrage culture.
Gypsy Warrior says, Piz, do you wish to mention had made the Halloween Hellraiser crossover? No. That would have been bad. That would have been bad. Aiden has got a original Fright Night 2 poster.
Ooh.
That he's going to sell to me.
I've actually never seen that movie.
Oh, it's so good. I love it to death.
Is it still hard to get a hold of, like on DVD or Blu-ray?
It's out there. A lot of bootlegs. You can get the Spanish release, which is an official release, for about $20 on eBay or different places, Amazon. But yeah, it's I love it. I love it.
There might be a rip of it on YouTube right now.
Yes, there is a high quality rip of it on YouTube right now.
Oh wow!
By the way, the Blu-ray that is it Spanish or French?
It's Spanish.
Spanish. The Spanish Blu-ray is 720, so it's high def, but it is not remastered to 1080.
I have a couple discs like that.
It's really common actually, and it's not rare at all. They just don't mention on the specs anywhere if they're pulling that crap.
The only one I can think of is the 2-pack I have with Halloween 6 in it. It's a 1080i disc, and Ernest Scared Stupid are both 1080i.
That's strange.
That's not the 2-pack, is it? That's not those two films. Like it's a separate. Like Halloween 6 is separate from Ernest Scared Stupid.
No, it's not. It's not it's a 2-pack of H2O and Halloween 6. But no, I'd
Al,
Jesus.
Did you get that sandwich, Al? How is it?
No, I'm gonna get it after the stream. I'm just parked in my car outside the store, so I don't want to miss a beat. So
that's not safe.
That's maybe
that's not safe.
He's probably in a good part of Philly,
Yeah,
good part of Philly.
I'll be okay, Lauren. Trust me.
Lauren, let's hear about
this
robbed at gunpoint in Philly story.
We need some bootleg Dame Drops Wawa order action. So let's go get that camera in the store and start doing it.
We don't really want to see
nobody knows what I'm talking about here, huh?
Yeah. No one wants to see the person making the food at a Wawa though. It's good food, but you don't want
the deli just opened because they were closed down for like 2 months.
Is that like I've never heard of Wawa. Is that some sort of Helen Keller type themed food chain? Or
it's actually owned by.
It's really good. It's like Lauren, explain. Lauren would do a better job.
It's a convenience store with a hot food counter and a huge, humongous coffee bar.
Gas station. Some have beer, some don't.
Well, in Jersey they don't have beer, but
not in Jersey.
They have about probably 26 doors of frozen or refrigerated beverages. It's
classic machines.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's terrific stuff. It's a wonderland for
Y'all
fat
get
people.
cool stuff up there.
I'd say my favorite thing out of a Wawa is the banana cream smoothie.
Ooh,
I like the
that sounds
milkshake, the cookies and cream. I love their milkshake.
Put in the blender.
Yeah.
So, have you guys been to Royal Farms yet?
No, me no.
Because they're just coming up into the area. Some insane fried chicken. Dude,
Yes, fried chicken is the best. It's better than KFC, Popeyes.
What
any of
the
that stuff.
hell do y'all up north know about fried chicken?
It's not, listen, Royal Farms is a southern company.
That's Jersey wasn't a freaking slave state doesn't mean anything.
Well,
Listen,
evidently,
Royal Farms. The only Royal Farms I've ever been to is in Baltimore.
Yeah, the one right off the exit coming into.
I don't remember where it was. I was visiting a friend, and it was right down the street, the end of his block, right in the ghetto. It was like the heart of Baltimore, like homicide, life on the street type shit.
You can order one tender.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Also good there is the Royal Farms grape soda. I've really just taken an entire culture's food, but I'm sorry, I love it.
Oh man.
I've never had Greek food. Sinister Antics never had Greek food.
Greek food's good.
T-Bob, yeah, I do like Five Guys. Five Guys are very good.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, Five Guys are good.
Wait, Five Guys though.
They've got huge in the UK in the last couple of years, is what T-Bob says. What now?
They got rid of the peanuts. Five Guys.
I want them all burned down. Burn every Five Guys down. I'm saying that.
Dude, I feel like I was just in there a couple months ago.
Blame Piz.
If you still has them, send them up.
No, wait, they got rid of what? I'm sorry, what
peanuts.
The peanuts. Like I feel like I was just in there a couple months ago and had peanuts.
So they jack their prices up and they take away our goddamn peanuts. What's this world coming to?
They still have bags of potatoes just everywhere.
Maybe it's a Jersey thing, and I should just be blaming Murphy. I don't know.
We should always blame Murphy. I mean, that's the way to go, anyway. It seems.
Yeah, Murphy sucks.
That dude isn't even going to get. He's even not going to lose re-election. They're going to take him straight and lynch him. It's bad.
Well, he's the most. He's just so obnoxious.
Oh God!
Like, just I don't want to get into politics too much because I'm too dumb to really.
Yeah, let's not talk about politics.
Speak on it with anyone, but he's an ass. He's just an asshole. He's just an arrogant, smug idiot that doesn't know anything about the United States Constitution. We're gonna. If you don't stay in your house, we're gonna put you in your house. Like,
hold on.
Listen, pal.
Joe Bob has a message here for you, Lauren. It says you have something for Feldman. I don't know what that means.
Oh no.
That would require medication, sir.
Oh, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious.
What did I do to you, by the way?
What?
I've always been nice to you, man. What the fuck is that? Now, Pam, I've done horrible shit. I get it when he has a problem. But you? Seriously?
I have a sick sense of humor, Lauren. I have a sick sense of humor.
I've never heard of shawarma. I've never heard of shawarma, Toronto Freddy. I don't know what that is. Never heard of that. Cole is Gay is in the chat. He says, for the panel, if you could have a donut with one director, who would it be and what kind of donut? Nico, what director are you gonna have a donut with, and what kind of donut would? Well, you're vegan, right?
William Friedkin, white powdered sugar donut.
That's cool. I'd like to have a conversation with William Friedkin too. What about you, Mike?
Donut? Favorite donut?
No.
Sorry.
Wait. You know what? Fuck Europe. All of it. The whole continent. Change the name back now.
Cole is Gay wants to know if you could have a donut with one director, who would it be?
That's too much, Mike.
Oh.
Mike, you went too far.
And what kind of donut?
Not cool.
It'd be glazed, and it has to be John Carpenter. but I'd have to supply with some quality weed.
Yeah, you would.
Otherwise, he just wouldn't talk to me. So,
is weed becoming more and more legalized over there in the UK as it is here in the States?
no. If you're not just if you're caught with it, if you're caught with a small amount,
They
just
break your jaw.
they'll send you on your way, but it's not being decriminalized like it has in some states. So
They're still afraid of marijuana and memes in the UK,
Yeah.
from what I hear.
Yeah.
Just from what I hear, I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. Could get some bad information.
Wow. Lauren, donut and director.
Well, it depends. Well, first of all, I want Dunkin' Donuts to bring back the actual Dunkin' Donut with the handle. That's the first thing. So if we're talking,
How old are you?
I'm ancient. It was only like 10 years ago they absolutely discontinued them. Just most of the shops were privately owned and didn't bother with them anymore. But they were like a real donut, not just sugar. And it's just, do they have to be alive or can they be deceased?
I get it. Doesn't, he didn't give any parameters.
Well, then I'm gonna just rewrite the entire rules, and I'm gonna go with a producer, not a director. I'm gonna Val Luton and a traditional Dunkin' Donut with the handle.
Very nice. What about you, Al?
I'm a big Krispy Kreme guy. You know, I try not to eat too many donuts, but we also have a place called Federal Donuts. But I would say Krispy Kreme glazed donuts with the late great Toby Hooper.
Ooh, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme is a go-to for me. I love Krispy Kreme donuts.
Same here. Absolutely.
They're very good. Corey, donut and director.
Oh man.
It's a tough one.
I'll have a bear claw with Quentin Tarantino.
Ooh.
Cool.
Very interesting choice.
Spoilers: he's going to want you to take your shoes and socks off.
I know. That's the only claw he's getting.
What about you, Joe Bob? Director and donut.
Anything Krispy Kreme with Robert Zemeckis.
That's a. Jeremy loves Robert Zemeckis. He might go with Robert Zemeckis. He'd be like donut. No, well, he likes donuts now, but yeah. But he'd probably go with Robert Zemeckis.
I think he said that.
Yeah, he likes Robert.
I love
Zemeckis.
Back to the Future.
What about you, Jonathan?
Well, Corey took mine. I was gonna say Krispy Kreme with Quentin Tarantino, and I was gonna add because he's gonna get Me Too'd at any moment now with all the weird crap he's into with feet. Like, there's no way he hasn't sexually harassed someone.
They've already tried. They've already tried, pretty much.
Oh, have they? Oh.
Yeah. It was a smaller scale canceling campaign, but they tested the waters.
I'm 100% sure that he sexually assaulted someone.
Oh yeah,
and I'm pretty sure it's Uma Thurman.
She hates him, so yeah.
That's his muse. So
the feelings are not reciprocated.
No, but she still did those movies, man. So
let's see. For me, I would have a strawberry filled donut with Michael Mann.
Ooh,
Michael.
Nice.
Mann. Or Terrence Malick, and just get really deep and philosophical over our donut with Terrence Malick.
No Victor Salva.
No.
Or like Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau would be that would be an interesting.
An imaginary donut with Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah.
You just tell him there's a donut there. He'll go.
Why is the donut?
Oh God! That Tommy Wiseau for the room. Oh my God!
There was what was the other guy? The guy that played Mark. He did a screening of The Room at my public library for free, like a few months ago, and I just feel like that may be one of the sadder things that I've seen.
You know what? Actually, I amend my statement because I think that any donut whatsoever with Ed Wood would be the answer because wildly cool people would show up.
Yeah, you're right, Lauren. You're right on that.
Ed Wood. That's a good choice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
And afterwards, the plate could be used in the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Flying saucer.
Sinister Antics, best fried chicken restaurant for me. You might be surprised. I'm honestly not a huge fan of KFC, even though I'm a Kentuckian. It's okay, but
I could eat the mashed potatoes, and that's it.
Their mashed potatoes and gravy are very good.
I love them.
Jeremy has become an addict for their mashed potatoes and gravy.
Amen.
William Friedkin is one of the most intense directors living. The man is a savage. I agree.
Is that the one who did? Is that the one who did To Live and Die in L.A.?
Yes.
Or was it somebody else?
Yes, he did.
I saw the movie the first time a few years ago. Loved it. Oh my God, I was hooked.
It's very good. He also did The Exorcist. He did.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
He did The Hunted, which is really, I think, a really underrated, fun movie.
I'll check that out.
Big Crack Rock says, I miss all the free roaches they used to include in my box at the local Dunkin' Donuts. They must not have liked you at the Dunkin' Donuts, Big Crack Rock. Jeez. Hello, Killer Cutie. How are you doing? Let's see. Brian Trash said he had a beer with George Romero.
That's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah. I'm not a big Romero fan, but that's pretty cool.
Toronto Freddy says he's having a pumpkin spice donut with Wes Craven.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I hate the pumpkin spice.
I would ask Wes Craven why about a lot of things, I think.
Yeah.
Why he did My Soul to Take?
Deadly Friend, really?
Hey, I was about to ask about Deadly Friend.
I like Deadly Friend.
I like Deadly Friend.
I want to see Deadly Friend because it's so stupid.
It is.
I was thinking more like The Hills Have
Ann
Eyes.
Ramsey getting killed by the basketball. What was
that was reshoots. He didn't even originally have that in the film, and that's what everyone
really? I didn't know that.
It was considered too soft, so they went back and shot gore shots.
Oh my god!
Thank goodness they did. Thank goodness.
Yeah,
they did.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's still.
Killer Cutie says, you know who is an absolute sweetheart? Tony Todd. Tony Todd is very nice. I got to meet him at a convention a few years ago. He was very nice. Very cool guy.
Yeah, he is. I met him. He's nice.
Yeah, very, very cool guy. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? We've been going for about 2.5 hours. Anything else on you guys' time's flown, jeez. Talking about donuts and fast food, time just flies.
Do you guys know what the number one movie at the box office this weekend was?
Jurassic Park.
Correct. And number 2 was Jaws. So we live in a world where, besides 1 week between, horror films have pretty much run the rampant the whole COVID lockdown time.
Has anybody watched The Hunt?
I love The Hunt.
I want to see that.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great.
I saw his review of it. I might watch it down the road.
It's good.
It looks good.
It was good. It was good.
And that choice of you taking a side, that's really freaking smart.
Yeah.
It makes you choose.
Well, the movie didn't take a side, which was the smartest thing that they could do in that movie.
Yeah, it made you choose.
They parody both sides, and I love it.
Yeah, they did a very smart thing with that film. Somebody in the chat asked us, what's that? I forgot the name of the movie, but it's got Kevin James and the girl from
Becky.
Becky, yes. Has anybody seen that?
I saw it.
Well, was
anything Kevin James?
It could have
been. I'm not interested. I want to watch. Oh, fuck, as usual.
He's a funny guy. I like him as a comedian, actor.
King and Queens. Oh my god, I hate that shit. I want to watch 2.5 Men.
Yeah, I
love that. I love 2.5 Men.
It could have been better. Like when I saw the trailer, and I thought, man, Kevin James can either knock this out of the park, or it's going to be extremely lackluster. And unfortunately, it was the latter. It's just it's Doug Heffernan with a beard and very, very angry.
Okay. Anybody else at Nico? You seen it?
I have not. I was going to ask if anyone besides Piz has seen We Summon the Darkness, and is it worth checking out?
Lauren saw it.
Absolutely. I like it more than Piz does. So
yeah, Lauren liked it a lot. I thought it was okay.
It really comes down to if you like the cast, because it's not an outrageously original film, but if you like the actresses in particular, you're gonna love the movie. Daddario and Forsyth. It was going to be hard to miss, but I mean, I'm not spoiling anything to say that at a key moment in the film, Amy Forsyth might pick up an outboard boat motor as a weapon.
Oh, I still need to watch that. Oh, did anybody pick up any of the Scream Factory, Shout Factory stuff that's showing up at Walmart? By the way, speaking of some of that stuff, you can get some really, really good deals.
Really?
Yes.
I'll have to check that out. I know, as a matter of fact, Amazon had the Candyman Scream Factory Blu-ray for like $9 today.
That it's $10 at Walmart, and like I got the Fly collection for like $40, and Corey got a ton of stuff.
I bought a bunch. Yeah.
What all did you get, Corey?
Yeah, and I got the Big Trouble in Little China for $15
with a slip.
With a slip.
Nice.
Throw it out. Throw it out.
Cobra for $12. Roadhouse for $9. There's a bunch of other stuff showing up. So, see, that's the thing. Like, I can talk myself out of those when they're like $25 to $30, but when they're like 12, then I'm in trouble.
How much is a fly box? How much did you spend on the fly box?
$39.
Oh my god, that's a steal.
Yeah, I jumped all over it. They have the Almond box set too for $39.
Nico.
Yeah.
Don't you think that Curse of the Fly is just one of the most underrated things ever?
Totally.
No one knows this movie. No one knows this movie.
Yes. Yes. It's great. It's a great movie.
Let's see. Have I tried KFC's new Mountain Dew flavor? It's peach honey. Ooh, no. I don't like peach. I don't like peach.
Sounds like diabetes.
That doesn't sound good to me. Favorite horror subgenre for me, it's slashers. Anybody else want to chime in?
Oh, yeah. Slashers, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I suppose slasher / giallo, like this kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff.
That's a great transfer, by the way. I was shocked.
I know. That's why it's like I said. I don't own enough versions of this. I think I should get the government. So.
Hey, steak sauce.
Under enough of names.
You mentioned Dolly Dearest. You mentioned Dolly Dearest earlier. I've never seen it. What am I in for?
Just about 80 minutes of heaven. 85 minutes is just pure heaven. I mean, look, it's clearly a Child's Play ripoff, but it's spun a little differently. I don't know. As a kid, I was never really scared of Chucky, outside just the fact that when I was younger, I was closer to his size. So I was a little, if Chucky was real, okay, that might be a fight. But the doll and Dolly Dearest, was the voice of it specifically scared the shit out of me. Like, I didn't sleep the night that I watched it for even a second. As an adult, it's not nearly as terrifying by any stretch, but entertaining nonetheless. Kid with the glasses has got a couple good lines he gets off towards the end, so
looking forward to it.
Plus, shit, Denise Crosby. That's enough to pop a film in for. So,
what about your favorite horror subgenre? Steak sauce.
It's got to be slasher. Okay. I'd say in probably my teenage years it'd be zombie, but about the time I graduated high school is when The Walking Dead started production. So just slowly, zombies have become more and more mainstream, and just I don't want to hear about zombies again for the rest of my life. And my favorite movie is Return of the Living Dead. So that's saying something, I suppose.
Good movie. What about you, Jonathan?
It's slasher, like more specifically like camp slasher.
Oh, I like that. Lauren, I think we know your favorite subgenre.
Do you?
Right? I think so.
Well, what do you think I am? Go around the room. What do you think?
I was gonna say slasher films.
Golden Age sympathetic monsters would be what I would say. Actually.
Okay.
Well, my guess would be like 90. I would have guessed 90s slashers, but
yeah,
I don't know, just anything with like a CW network cast.
Pinocchio.
I was gonna say like Asian ghost stories.
Pinocchio.
I listen. Ringu is in my top 10 of all time, but there's not a lot. There's not a lot of it. The problem with the Asian ghost thing is there's a ton of it. Most people only know the titles that got remade in America, but there's a ton of it. So films like Ghost Train, don't bother with. It's a mess.
They in that?
This
same
is my
vein?
favorite. This is my favorite one.
Yeah, they're all in the same vein. That's the problem.
Are they all just like very pale little children, or
women?
Okay.
There's very specific ghost archetypes in Asia.
Yeah.
And they tend to be repeated because, which to us seems repetitive, but to them, they're the cultural norm. So
I just got Ringu. I need to check it out.
Ringu is so good. It's so much better than the American remake that simplified the story.
I mean, I like the American remake too, but the J-horror one is much better. One Missed Call, the J-horror, the Takashi Miike is much better.
Oh yeah.
Pulse is fantastic. Cairo is so good. Gosh,
that last act of Cairo is just so freaking good.
I know, so great, so great. Let's see. Have I asked you guys all your favorite subgenres, or Corey? Did I ask you?
Haven't.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I mean, obviously I can find rewarding titles in every genre, subgenre, but I think slasher is the easiest one to just pop in and have a good time with. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Mike? Favorite horror subgenre?
Slashers. Yeah, specifically camp slashers. I was actually going to ask, favorite slasher subgenre.
See, that's a good one. The subgenre. That's a good one. I guess I would tend to go more toward the backwoods camp slasher aesthetic, but the urban slashers are good too. I mean, you got Halloween up in there. You got Nightmare on Elm Street. Or I guess the suburban slasher archetype also. Yeah. But
I'm going to say I'm just going to have to shoot now. It's nearly 4:00, so I'm going to have to go.
Okay. Well, hey man, thanks
Go ahead, Mike.
Thanks for
cheers,
being here, and take care, man. Have a great one. Have a great night.
Yeah.
Send me a Canterbury McFlurry, Mike.
You'll never walk alone, Mike.
See you later, lads.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Take care. Have a good night.
Be good, man.
Subgenre. I'm going with backwoods camp slashers. What about you, Joe Bob?
Just slashers, hands down.
Slashers, hands down. Okay. Any ones in particular go-to for you? Go-to movies?
Pretty much comedies for me. Like, I love disco comedies, like Maximum Overdrive. I get a chuckle out when Stephen King says that line. This machine is calling me an asshole.
That's a good one. What about go-to slasher movies for you, Joe Bob?
Typical Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare. Because I have 3 nephews that love that shit. It's
that's good. What, Nico? Favorite subgenre?
Well, I like Italian stuff. I mean, I like stuff like Tenebrae, Deep Red. I like Bava's stuff like Hatchet for a Honeymoon.
That's a cool
stuff
title.
like that.
At what point? Because there's a lot of people who, when you're talking about Argento stuff, there's everything before opera and everything after opera, or some people who think, no, opera sucks too. Where do you fall in?
I fucking love opera.
I love opera too. I love opera too.
But the one that I disagree with people most about, because a lot of people don't like it, and I think it's one of his best movies, is I love the Stendhal.
I knew it was going to be Stendhal.
Yeah.
That one, I don't know. I like it for the most part, but I think it was the last one that had. You can watch it and go, yeah, that's an Argento film.
It's actually a movie. Wow. Yeah. with all the moving pieces moving correctly. Yeah.
But I don't know. There's sequences in that one where it looks and feels like an Argento film, and then beyond that, it just kind of, I don't know.
Well, if you look at it like someone have someone's PTSD getting the best of them, more like almost like as a tragedy as opposed to just a horror or slasher film. That's the level it works on for me, because it just kind of wipes me out. It wipes me out the way Lynch's Fire Walk with Me wiped me out at the end, So, but I'm the only one I know that really sticks up for that one, but I think opera is probably on Christmas Day. I watched opera, so
Oh wow,
yeah, that's how I spent my Christmas. So
yeah, cool. I'll go there with you. I do not have the Arrow Pulse release. I've not picked that one up. I've just got the old DVD, but I should pick that one up if it's even still in print. I don't know. And I love Cemetery Man, Killer Cutie. Love Cemetery Man. Hey, no,
is that the one that is that the one with the other title? It's got the Italian
Della Morte Dell'Amore.
I just got that last week.
Oh,
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, so good, so good.
Oh, great.
So good, so freaking good. What about your favorite sub genre, Al?
You know what? There's. I would say I love Suspiria. I'm a big Suspiria fan. I like the new one more so than the old one. I think the new one was absolutely fantastic. I seen it twice drunk in the movie theater, and people were walking out. The movie's not for everybody, you know. And I mean, people were walking out of the movie theater. You know, like it was just a brutal movie. But I just love the way it was done. I mean, Suspiria. Inferno, Tenebrae was good. Tenebrae, if I'm pronouncing it right, excuse me. But I mean, mostly slashers, but otherwise, I mean, you know, The Ring, I'm not a big fan of, but yeah, I'm a Suspiria guy, man. In and out.
I hear you. Inferno's one. I don't know. That one for me is tough to get into. That one. I mean, that one is definitely Argento. There's no doubt about it. The look and the feel, the aesthetic. That one.
It's beautiful to look at.
It's gorgeous to look at. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. I just cannot get into that one.
Tar Heel in the hospital.
So I think the key to loving Inferno is you have to love Bava. If you really have a fetish for Black Sunday, like I do, you love Inferno because that's where it all just keeps going back to in that movie.
What do you get? I'll ask everybody, but I want to ask Lauren first. I don't know if I've ever asked you this. What do you think about Twitch of the Death Nerve, Bay of Blood, or one of the other 800 titles it's called?
I think it looks like a movie that the director was not invested in. It's influential in all the right ways. It has all the right components, but you know, Bava didn't give a crap about slashers. Not really. And it comes through.
I think as influential as that movie is and as good as certain parts of that movie is, as a whole, it just does not really work for me.
He was trying to make something that was very modern because there's a reputation as being a director from a bygone era already. So the problem is he was a director from a bygone era. That's what it comes down to. And you could tell it's just not what he wanted to be doing. And it's sad because he's an extremely skilled filmmaker. There's a film called Kolimar Kalam from India that's a remake of Bay of Blood from last year. And it's probably a better version of that same story. And that pains me to say anything is preferable to a Bava version. That like destroys me to say. But
there are some really good moments in that movie, but I don't know as a whole. You nailed it. It kind of feels like a movie that it feels like it's a movie that he didn't care about, but that the editor really liked. Like the editor wanted every scene shot in that movie. We can't cut anything out of this movie. Got to have everything in here.
Well, I mean, Bava never minded spending time on a subject. Like if you watch Kill Baby Kill, that movie you have to have some patience with, but it's so rewarding. Bad Blood just ultimately isn't that rewarding for the investment. And I still like it. I still own it. I don't watch it very often. But yeah, I mean, it's like anything. You could tell, like someone before mentioned Wes Craven and My Soul to Take. Same scenario, really. He'd just fallen on his face trying to escape the horror genre, and he came back and he made something because that was comfortable, but there was no passion for.
Yeah. Well, guys, why don't we go ahead and call it a night? We've been going for. Anybody else have anything they want to say about Twitch of the Death Nerve, Bay of Blood? Like it, love it, meh.
I like it a lot. It's not. I wouldn't put it in the top tier of his movies, but I enjoy it. Yeah. My favorite late period film he has is Kidnapped, Rabid Dogs, which I think is amazing.
Yeah.
And with an ending that like takes the life right out of you. It's so shocking, you know.
Let's see. Only 257 wants to know what's my favorite scene in Piranha 3D. Whatever scene Kelly Brook is in.
Underwater lesbian dance.
I was thinking that. I didn't want to take it that far, but Lauren took it there. So
there's a reason that they invented glass bottom boats.
Oh goodness gracious! I think there was. Let's see. I think there was another. Now I do have the Bay of Blood Arrow Blu-ray, and it's a beautiful Blu-ray. Dave Vanderhoff says he finally got his Hide and Go Shriek Blu-ray from 88 Films today. Cool. I like that movie. That's a pretty good release too, as I recall. Yeah, I like Hide and Go Shriek. It's not my favorite slasher, but I like it. It should be on Blu-ray in the States. It deserves that. You guys have to do this more. I love finding more horror fan talk. Well, let's call it a night here, guys. Let me go through and give some shout-outs here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Everybody over on Twitch, thank you, Killer Cutie. Thank you, Sinister Antics. Thank you, T-Bob79. Big Crack Rock.
Love Big Crack Rock.
That dude is always here, always supporting.
Big Crack Rock is the coolest, man. Sting of the Scorpion 78. Let's see. Kevin Smythe, who was actually here, and then he had to leave, but he jumped on the Twitch chat. So, Mr. Shatsy, NV Davler, thank you guys. Let's see who's still with us over on YouTube. Only 257, Aaron Lewis, Jess Graham, Jamie. Hey, Jamie, what's up? Jamie says, who doesn't love an underwater lesbian dance?
No one with a pulse.
Brian Trash says he's out of weed. Sorry to hear that.
Sad,
Gypsy Warrior still here. Robert Long is still here. Rock Music Forever 90. Toronto Freddy. Big ups to Toronto Freddy up in Toronto. Buddy Dave Vanderhoff is here. Gypsy Warrior, Mike Bear. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And thank you, Jonathan, for being here tonight. Thank you for being a patron.
Thank you, sir.
Right on. Steak Sauce, thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for being a patron.
Always lovely. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And
watch King of Staten Island.
Okay. And you know, I know you were fretting about not having the beard. You look fine without a beard, Steak Sauce.
Oh well, thank you. I let it grow in a little bit at least. It's coming back ASAP. Yeah. Bet your bottom dollar on that.
Thank you, Lauren, for being here. Thank you for being a patron.
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you, Al from Suspiria. Al from Russia, from Suspiria, from Philly. Thank you.
Anytime, brother. Thanks, Fizz.
Right on. Nico from LA. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a patron.
It's great to meet you guys. Yeah, it's great.
Right on. Corey.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to be here, and check out Jonathan and I S'mores Indoors podcast, which Piz was a thankful to have him on episode 2. So it's on all the podcast platforms. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, thank you for having me on. And S'mores Indoors podcast. It was. Check it out. Let's see. Joe Bob.
There you go, man.
That's what you get.
I'll just point out that in the private chat, you told me what town you live in. You should be thinking very carefully right now.
That was not a wise move, Joe Bob. That was not a wise move.
I'll have to find a few local boys to take care of some business.
Oh, goodness. Lord.
I'm crazy. What can you do?
But
medicate.
But Joe Bob, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for being a patron.
Hey, no problem. Tell Jeremy hey for me.
I will absolutely do that. All right. Well, again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank everybody for everybody who joined me. Also, Kevin Smythe, who was here. Mike, who was here. Thank you guys also. And we'll see you again very soon. Take care, and until next time, peace.
Iris loves you.